Chapter 2003. Of course, Yang Ming wouldn't easily tell Xia Shui about this identity. At least, even Chen Mengyan and the others didn't know about this identity. So, I have so many girlfriends. Do you still think it's outrageous? Yang Ming asked with a smile. This time, Xia Shui finally shook her head. Yes, here, although the existence of 3 wives and 4 concubines is not allowed, there are many countries in the world that allow polygamy. Yang Ming can go to other countries to register his marriage. Moreover, Yang Ming was now the actual owner of Island X. Then, on Island X, Yang Ming was the absolute authority, even the existence of a behind-the-scenes king. With so many girlfriends, naturally, they were the same as the princess consort. There was no question of whether it was outrageous or not. Yang Ming, I really didn't expect. Xia Shui had a new understanding of Yang Ming today. Although Xia Shui generally knew that Yang Ming had an extraordinary change in this year, she didn't know that Yang Ming's change was so big. Even Yang Ming already had an island. No wonder so many women favored Yang Ming. Xia Shui admitted that she was really tempted. In the past, she was worried about the other women around Yang Ming. She always made up her mind to follow Yang Ming wholeheartedly because she didn't want to live with Yang Ming for a lifetime without a title. Although a title was illusory, for a woman, this illusory thing was extremely important. Xia Shui was the same as others, she cared about this thing very much. So, she didn't know what to do in the future after she really got together with Yang Ming. But now, this didn't exist at all. On Island X, Yang Ming would become the rule maker. There, Yang Ming would do whatever he said. Xia Shui fell into deep thought. After a while, she whispered, "It's not outrageous, but I didn't expect." Yang Ming, how did you do it? How did he do it? Xia Shui's question stunned Yang Ming. That's right, how did I do it? Until now, even Yang Ming was a little puzzled. How exactly did he do all this? Of course, there was his own hard work and effort, but there was also the existence of luck. If it wasn't for that pair of glasses that could see through things, see far, and see at night, Yang Ming wouldn't be where he was today. Of course, Fang Tian was also an important factor in Yang Ming's success. Without Fang Tian's favor, there wouldn't be today's king of assassins, Yang Ming. Even if Yang Ming could see through things, he was only a millionaire now. It was impossible for him to have such great achievements, and it was impossible for him to accept old Buffon as his disciple. It was even more impossible for him to interfere with the affairs of Island X. However, all of this could be attributed to good deeds being rewarded with good deeds. If Yang Ming didn't have compassion at the beginning and didn't help the old man who set up the stall, he wouldn't have gotten this pair of glasses that could see through things. Secondly, if Yang Ming didn't stand up for Fang Tian in the detention center and didn't run around for Fang Tian's affairs afterward, it was impossible for him to get Fang Tian's favor and accept him as his disciple. So, it wasn't an exaggeration to say that good deeds were rewarded with good deeds. After Yang Ming obtained these achievements, he had always been looking at people and things with a fair heart. He would still stand up for injustice. He was still the hot-blooded Yang Ming. When he saw injustice, he would take the initiative to stand up. Including this time's matter with Elder Yu, it was the same. Although he could stand outside of the matter, he didn't. He took the initiative to treat all of this as his own responsibility. Although Yang Ming had never regretted doing all of this, from the perspective of professional ethics, Yang Ming wasn't a qualified assassin. An assassin should be cold and ruthless. If it wasn't related to him, he couldn't do it. Forget it. After I accept an apprentice in the future, I will train him to be a qualified assassin. Yang Ming himself couldn't do it in this life. It's nothing. It was a strange combination of circumstances and coincidences. Yang Ming wasn't willing to say too much about his own success. After all, the chance was too great, and it couldn't be replicated. Xia Shui nodded and didn't ask anything more. She was just lamenting. She didn't really want to know how Yang Ming did it. However, after knowing some of Yang Ming's things, Xia Shui didn't have the previous jealousy toward Huang Lele. The nature of her profession had turned Xia Shui from an impulsive chick into a rational policewoman. Now, it was impossible for her to fight with Yang Ming in the police station, and it was impossible for her to pull out a gun to scare Yang Ming on the street. Therefore, after Xia Shui knew Yang Ming's ultimate goal, she began to think about her own matters. The current Xia Shui was actually not very interested in promotion and meritorious service. As she became more mature, Xia Shui was more and more like a girl. She began to think about her life. In fact, most girls' thoughts were very simple. Their career was not as important as their life. Xia Shui was thinking about her future. If she really wanted to be with Yang Ming, then Xia Shui had to give up everything now. In the future, she would live in seclusion with Yang Ming on Island X. What kind of comfortable feeling would that be? It was worth looking forward to just thinking about it. The journey has just begun. Tell me about the things between you and Lele. Xia Shui looked at Huang Lele, who was snuggling in Yang Ming's arms, and said with some envy. She was really jealous of the women around Yang Ming. They were so lucky to find Yang Ming, a person who could transcend the rules of the secular world, and give them a reasonable identity. If it were someone else, it would seem like a joke to give all the lovers around them a legal identity. But Yang Ming was different. Yang Ming could be said to be a man of his word. Okay. In fact, the situation between Lele and me was more interesting. I was pushed in reverse. Yang Ming thought about it and found it funny, huh? Xia Shui's eyes widened. She was shocked by Yang Ming's words. Pushed in reverse. It can't be, right? Huang Lele is so bold. She can actually push and reverse Yang Ming. It doesn't look like it, right? Huang Lele seems to be a very simple and innocent girl. She doesn't look so fierce at all. Xia Shui even thought that it was possible to push and reverse Yang Ming, but Huang Lele. This is a bit unbelievable. However, looking at Huang Lele's appearance, she only blushed but didn't make any refute. Could it be that what Yang Ming said was true? Was the situation at the beginning really like this? Why? Are you surprised? But the situation at the beginning was like this. Yang Ming said with a bitter smile. It can't be, right? So powerful. Xia Shui was even more interested. Chapter 2004. Therefore, Yang Ming told Xia Shui about the matter with Huang Lele. Although it was for Xia Shui to hear, it was also his own memory of the beautiful past. Yang Ming was about to leave, so he began to become sentimental. When he thought of the past, he always had some emotions. The matter of going to Macau was still vivid in his mind. Here, he actually met the three girls in his life. Suya, Wang Xiaoyan, and Huang Lele. Yang Ming never thought that this trip would bring such a big harvest. Therefore, after Xia Shui asked, Yang Ming's thoughts were like a flood in his mind, and the chatterbox was opened. Of course, the matter of Suya and Wang Xiaoyan, Yang Ming wasn't going to tell Xia Shui. First, Xia Shui didn't know that the Suya he met at the beach was the famous celebrity Wang Xiaoyan. Second, the identity of Wang Xiaoyan was very sensitive. He couldn't simply tell Xia Shui. You and Lele actually know each other like this. I really didn't expect that. Yang Ming, you also know how to gamble. Why does it sound like the god of gamblers in the movie? Xia Shui was somewhat surprised that Yang Ming could actually help Huang Lele's family's casino, and he even won a big victory. If I didn't have this ability, your brother wouldn't let me be the captain. He only let you be my underling. Yang Ming smiled. You're still being arrogant. What is it? Isn't it just gambling? I can do it too. Xia Shui said. Do you want to bet? Yang Ming looked at Xia Shui with a smile and asked. So what if I want to? Do you want to gamble with me now? Xia Shui said, okay, who is afraid of who? Come on, what do you want to bet? Or, let's bet. As Yang Ming said this, he leaned in Xia Shui's ear and whispered, let's bet on the color of the underwear you wear today. Ha! Xia Shui's face suddenly turned red. She didn't expect Yang Ming to be so bold. He actually wanted to bet this thing. Xia Shui didn't know about Yang Ming's X-ray vision ability. Although she probably guessed that he had some special abilities, she didn't know that he had X-ray vision. How is it? Do you want to bet? Yang Ming asked with a smile. When Xia Shui heard Yang Ming say this, she thought that Yang Ming deliberately wanted to tease her. However, the more he acted like this, the more Xia Shui wanted to mess with Yang Ming. Didn't you want to guess the color of my underwear? Didn't you want to tease me? Fine, I'll let you guess. But what if you don't get it right? Thinking of this, Xia Shui made up her mind and said with a smile, okay, since you proposed it, then we'll bet according to your idea. But since you're the one who proposed the bet, then shouldn't I be the one to decide the stakes? Alright, then you tell me. What is the stake? Yang Ming asked indifferently. The stake. And, let's do this. If you guess wrong, then after you go to Yunnan, you have to promise me one thing. Xia Shui thought about it and said. What is it? Asked Yang Ming. I haven't thought about it yet. You have to promise me first, said Xia Shui. Okay, then I promise you. Yang Ming nodded and said. Okay, then let's start the bet. Xia Shui said with satisfaction, now you can guess. It's not right, right? Yang Ming shook his head and looked at Xia Shui. He didn't guess directly. What's not right? Asked Xia Shui. You only said that if I lose, I have to agree to one of your conditions. But what if I win and you lose? Why didn't you say that? Yang Ming asked with a smile. This. Xia Shui played a little trick before. She thought that Yang Ming wouldn't find out. In the end, Yang Ming suddenly exposed her little trick. Let's do it this way. For the sake of fairness, you have to promise me one thing, said Yang Ming. Okay, then it's settled. Xia Shui hesitated and nodded. But you have to tell me first. If I lose, what do you want me to promise you? You don't want to tell me. Why should I tell you? Asked Yang Ming. I'm a woman. You're a man, so you have to let me win, said Xia Shui. Student Xia Shui, I seem to have discussed this topic with you before. You do legal work. You know that men and women are equal. Why are you still saying such childish words? Asked Yang Ming. I don't care. Anyway, you have to let me win. Xia Shui began to act shamelessly. Okay, then I'll tell you now. Yang Ming's evil interest rose in his heart. He leaned in Xia Shui's ear and whispered, what I want you to do is to be my woman. How about it? Do you agree? Ha! Xia Shui was stunned. Her face suddenly blushed. The relationship between Xia Shui and Yang Ming could be said to be a little closer than friends, but a little farther than boyfriend and girlfriend. Yang Ming suddenly used such provocative words to break the relationship between the two. It made Xia Shui a little stunned. She couldn't accept it for a while. Why? You don't agree? Asked Yang Ming provocatively. If you agree, then you agree. What's wrong with that? But let's say it first. You have to guess all of them correctly. Underwear, and bra. You can't miss anything. Xia Shui also played a trick. Her underwear was a floral color. No matter what color Yang Ming guessed, as long as he didn't completely guess it, she could say that it was wrong. However, after Xia Shui finished speaking, she was a little worried. In her heart, Yang Ming's figure had already been imprinted in her heart. Even Xia Shui herself couldn't say clearly when Yang Ming's figure was imprinted in her heart. The two of them had experienced many things together. From the beginning, they were quarrelsome lovers. Now, they were extremely close friends. It could be said that the relationship between the two of them had changed gradually, step by step. It was not the kind of love at first sight that came out of nowhere. However, even so, Yang Ming suddenly made their relationship clear. It was still somewhat embarrassing. Moreover, Xia Shui couldn't tell whether Yang Ming wanted to use this to confess or was just joking. In order to avoid thinking too much, Xia Shui's tone was also a kind of playful and unconvinced. It made people unable to tell the truth. At this moment, if Xia Shui really affectionately took Yang Ming's words as a confession, then Yang Ming wouldn't be so comfortable. After all, Yang Ming just said it casually. It was just a bad taste in his heart. There was no other meaning. After all, Yang Ming felt that although the relationship between himself and Xia Shui was a little ambiguous, it was still a little short of a couple. So, Xia Shui's answer at this moment made Yang Ming very relaxed. Okay, you guessed all of them. Yang Ming was also happy to play with her. Anyway, the flight journey was boring. It was also very interesting to occasionally make a joke to change the mood. Chapter 2005. Then you guess. Xia Shui looked at Yang Ming with a smile. She didn't believe that Yang Ming could guess correctly. And, let me think. Your underwear is pure white, right? Asked Yang Ming. This, you guessed right, but it's useless to guess one right. You continue. Xia Shui wasn't too surprised when she heard Yang Ming's guess. After all, guessing one right was more accidental. Most girls' underwear was pure white. This was a clean color. Many people preferred it. Therefore, Xia Shui didn't feel anything when Yang Ming said it. Instead, she said sarcastically, "Does your girlfriend like white underwear?" Hee hee, so, you like it too. Then you are quite qualified. It seems that my bet is still very good. Yang Ming said with a smile, I will continue to guess. Then I guess that your bra is beige, right? Ah. Xia Shui was stunned. Yang Ming could guess the color of the underwear. Xia Shui didn't have much doubt. After all, the color of the underwear was very common. It was white. This was a very popular color. However, the color of the bra was a bit rare. Yellow bras weren't liked by all girls. The popular colors were only white and black. Occasionally, there were pink and flesh-colored ones. However, beige was rare. Therefore, after Xia Shui was guessed correctly by Yang Ming, she was so surprised. Isn't this guy too powerful? It's fine if he guessed the color of the underwear, but he even guessed the color of the bra. Xia Shui frowned. This kid wouldn't go to my window to peep at me this morning, right? But it was impossible when she thought about it. Xia Shui lived on a very high floor. Moreover, she closed the curtains. It was impossible to say that Yang Ming could peek at her. Thinking of this, Xia Shui could only accept it. Yang Ming was so powerful. Then, let me guess the most difficult underwear. You guessed right. Then you continue to guess. Let's see if you can guess the next one. If you don't guess right, then the previous two are invalid even if you guessed right, said Xia Shui. Well, since you asked, I naturally have to continue to guess. Let me think. Your underwear should be white, said Yang Ming. White? Xia Shui heard Yang Ming say white. She was relieved and disappointed. After all, if Yang Ming simply guessed white, then she would definitely lose. Because Xia Shui's underwear had a white base, but it was printed with a pink flower pattern, so Yang Ming guessed that it was white. He was afraid that it was wrong. But Yang Ming guessed wrong. Xia Shui didn't know why, but she suddenly felt disappointed and lost. Between herself and Yang Ming, I'm afraid I've lost another opportunity to break the relationship. However, Yang Ming's next words made Xia Shui slightly stunned because Yang Ming said white. Doesn't that mean that Yang Ming means that there are other colors on the underwear? Yes, white, but there should be a pattern on it, right? Yang Ming said with a smile. What pattern? Xia Shui was shocked and asked. The pattern, how would I know? I just guessed the color, said Yang Ming. That won't work. I will only consider you correct if you guess the color and pattern, said Xia Shui. Aren't you cheating? Yang Ming smiled bitterly. I am cheating. So what? Asked Xia Shui. Then what can I do? Yang Ming spread his hands helplessly and said, but, let me guess. Let's agree first. If I guess the pattern and color, then you have to fulfill your previous promise. Okay, it's a promise. Xia Shui didn't believe that Yang Ming could guess the color and pattern of her underwear at the same time. Then I guessed that your underwear is white with a small pink flower on it. Is that right? Asked Yang Ming. Ah. Xia Shui was stunned. She didn't expect Yang Ming to guess correctly again. What does this mean? He guessed 3 times in a row. He even guessed the color and pattern of the last mix. Is this Yang Ming really the god of gamblers? Did I guess correctly? Yang Ming asked with a smile. So what if you guessed correctly? You just said that it was a flower. What kind of flower is it? Xia Shui asked. Let me think. It should be rose petals, right? Yang Ming pretended to hesitate and asked. This. Xia Shui didn't expect Yang Ming to guess this correctly. She was stunned on the spot. How is it? Did you guess correctly? Asked Yang Ming. No. Not a single one. Xia Shui blushed. Thinking of their bet, Xia Shui didn't want to admit it. No. That's not right, right? Why do I feel that it's all right? Why don't you take it off and let me check it? Yang Ming asked with a smile. Check. You wish. Why should I check it for you? Xia Shui snorted. It's fine if you don't check it. You just have to admit that I guessed correctly. Otherwise, if you say that I guessed wrong, you have to show evidence, right? Without evidence, you can't talk nonsense. Yang Ming said with a smile. I guessed correctly. You guessed correctly, okay? Xia Shui was helpless. She had to admit it in frustration. I really guessed correctly. Since you admitted it, then it's easy. Can our bet take effect? Yang Ming smiled and asked. What bet? I forgot. Xia Shui shook her head and denied it. If I win, you will be my woman. Yang Ming said seriously. Your girlfriend is next to you. How dare you be so bold? Xia Shui glared at Yang Ming and then said to Huang Lele, your boyfriend is looking for a woman behind your back. Oh. Huang Lele responded. What are you, for? You just, oh, and that's it. Xia Shui was dumbfounded by Huang Leilei's attitude. What kind of attitude is this? Why does it seem like it has nothing to do with her? Yang Ming looking for a woman has nothing to do with her. Then what should I say? If he is looking for a woman, then so be it. What do you want me to say? Huang Leilei asked. When she was with Yang Ming, she also knew that Yang Ming had a girlfriend. In Huang Leilei's mind, there was no such thing as jealousy. She was her stewardess, and she didn't have any conflicts with those women. Everyone was busy with their own things. It was fine as long as nothing happened. Therefore, for Xia Shui's question, Huang Leilei was somewhat inexplicable. Forget it. I can't talk to you. Xia Shui was a little depressed. What happened to Yang Ming's girlfriends? Why do they seem to be brainwashed? Suya, whom I met at the beach, was like this. This Huang Leilei is also like this. Chapter 2006. The most amazing thing was that Chen Mengyao seemed to have no reaction at all. She let Yang Ming do whatever he wanted. Xia Shui was depressed. Is Yang Ming so good? So many women follow him, and he has no regrets. However, Xia Shui was also a little depressed. My vision is good, but isn't it a bit too good? She would share Yang Ming's love with so many women in the future. This made Xia Shui somewhat unable to adapt. It's not that it doesn't make sense. It's that you are too nosy. If you are willing to bet, just accept your loss. You still want to sow discord. Yang Ming smiled. Humph. Xia Shui turned her head and ignored Yang Ming. However, Yang Ming was also happy to be idle. The time on the plane was not much. There were opportunities to communicate with Xia Shui. He was not in a hurry. Now the main task was to accompany Huang Leilei. After going to Beijing for special training, he might not have so much time to accompany Huang Leilei. Although Yang Ming felt that the training in this case had no meaning, since it was held by Xia Bingbao, Yang Ming still had to give face and participate. At least he had to participate in the beginning. After taking a leave, he could do his own things. So along the way, Yang Ming and Huang Leilei talked and left Xia Shui aside. Although Xia Shui also wanted to interrupt, because of the previous matter, she couldn't say anything. She could only sit aside and watch the clouds outside the plane. In Songjiang City, in an unremarkable old-fashioned residential building, the top floor of a house with 2 households was bought by the same owner. For safety, the owner set up an iron gate between the stairs. For such an old-fashioned building without any property management, such a situation was very common. After all, this was the top floor, and no one else would come up. It was understandable for him to lock it up, and the residents downstairs did not have any objections. Moreover, the owner of this house did not often come to live. He only came to live for a while occasionally, so it was normal for people to install an iron gate protection net for the safety of their home. The residents in this building did not know the owner of the top floor. They only knew that he was a disabled person in a wheelchair. Every time he came, there was another person who helped him push the electric wheelchair. In these 2 days, this disabled person lived in the top floor again. The photos that I asked you to send out, did you send them out? What happened? Why hasn't Chen Mengyan received them yet? A disabled person in a wheelchair angrily rebuked a young man with a buzz cut. I sent them out, said the young man with a buzz cut carefully. Sent them out, how did Yang Ming still get on the plane? According to our people's observation, Yang Ming's family is currently very harmonious. There are no signs of quarreling at all, let alone fighting fiercely and affecting Yang Ming's trip. The disabled person in the wheelchair was very angry. What the hell are you doing? As he said this, the young man with a buzz cut took out a courier list and handed it to the disabled person. He said carefully. The disabled person in the wheelchair was Huang Yukai, the military advisor of the Wang family. He was currently working for the behind-the-scenes boss. Fuck. What kind of courier did you send? Urine Express. Don't you know that Urine Express is very slow? You still send him a courier. Did you make a mistake? What are you doing? Don't you know how to send a second-generation courier? The second-generation courier is much faster than this. Huang Yukai was so angry that he threw the list in front of him aside and said, "You check it for me. Where did this courier go?" I checked. I just checked with my mobile phone this morning. The day before yesterday, it had been transferred to the transfer station in District XX. The courier is sending it, said the young man with a buzz cut carefully. What the hell? It was sent the day before yesterday. This courier is slow enough. Huang Yukai was even more angry when he heard it. Otherwise, why would this courier be called Ao Tai Long? It's really slow, said the young man with a buzz cut. Get out, you get out of here. What a guy who can't do anything right, what a good opportunity, you wasted it for me, you big bastard. Get out of here. Huang Yukai yelled. Yes, Boss Huang, then I will get out first, said the young man with a bitter face. You wait for me. Let me ask you. Why didn't you send a second-generation courier? Why did you send it to Urine Express? Asked Huang Yukai. Because Urine Express is 5 yuan cheaper than the second-generation courier. I thought that I could save a little money, so I sent Urine Express, said the young man weakly. Why don't you die? Huang Yukai finally got angry. He couldn't hold the anger in his heart. He took out a pistol from under the wheelchair and shot directly at the young man's chest. The young man with a buzz cut just struggled a little, then he fell to the ground and didn't move. For Huang Yukai, killing people was a normal thing, so he didn't care at all. Anyway, the behind-the-scenes boss was there. The behind-the-scenes boss could easily dispose of the body. Brother Huang, you are too impulsive. How can you get angry so easily and kill people? After the young man with a buzz cut died, a closed door opened. A person walked out from inside. It was the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon. It's just a small fry. If he dies, he dies. Why? Falcon, are you distressed? Huang Yukai said faintly, although these photos were collected and taken by your people, and the small fry that I killed was also your peripheral underling. These are all your people. Logically, I shouldn't be angry, but this idea was mine. In fact, you know that if it succeeds, it will definitely cause a lot of trouble to Yang Ming, which will affect Yang Ming's trip to Yunnan. Even if Yang Ming can go to Yunnan on time to perform the mission, his own backyard is on fire. He left for Yunnan without dealing with the situation clearly. Do you think he can go with peace of mind? At that time, he definitely won't be in the mood to perform the mission. If he has something in his heart, it will naturally be easy to make mistakes. This will also increase Elder Yu's chances. But now, the underling you found is quite good. He is quite clever, but isn't he too stingy? Because of a courier, in order to save some money, he delayed our important matter. Killing him is already a light punishment. Look at you, Brother Huang. Aren't you excited? I didn't say that what you did was wrong. I just said that it's not easy to deal with killing people in a residential area. It's a little troublesome. The behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, smiled and said, this matter is indeed my negligence. The person I used is too bad. Chapter 2007. AI. Huang Yukai sighed. We have been planning this plan since the beginning. We have been working in secret. We have spent a lot of effort to take intimate photos of Yang Ming and his girlfriends. Now, we have collected a lot of photos. Aren't we just waiting for a suitable opportunity to send them all to Yang Ming's real girlfriend, Chen Mengyan? Huang Youcai's plan was very good. If these photos fell into the hands of Yang Ming, she was bound to quarrel with Yang Ming and even break up with him. Although it seemed that Chen Mengyan had accepted Lin Jiyun, Zhou Jijia, and others, it was impossible for Chen Mengyan to accept more people, especially Zhao Ying. Chen Mengyan was very wary of Zhao Ying. It was impossible for the two to coexist. After Chen Mengyan saw the photos, it was inevitable that she would be furious. However, this kind of photo could only cause Yang Ming some trouble. It was impossible to hurt Yang Ming's foundation. In other words, it couldn't cause any substantial harm to Yang Ming. Therefore, Huang Youcai had been letting the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, collect these photos instead of immediately sending them to Yang Ming. But now, these photos could be used. Before Yang Ming went to Yunnan, if these photos were released to Chen Mengyan, then Chen Mengyan was bound to quarrel with Zhao Ying and the women in the photos. As a result, Yang Ming's backyard would be on fire. In order to calm the anger of these women, Yang Ming's plan to go to Yunnan might be put on hold. The Supernatural Investigation Bureau would send another person to Yunnan to meet with Elder Yu. Even if Yang Ming didn't delay the trip, Yang Ming should have left Songjiang City in a very depressed situation. In this way, with these things in his heart, his mood when going to Yunnan would be seriously affected. At that time, it was possible that his mood would affect the entire plan because of his mood. That way, Elder Yu would have an opportunity to take advantage of. Although Elder Yu was not necessarily afraid of Yang Ming, Elder Yu was still somewhat wary of Yang Ming. After all, Yang Ming had ruined Elder Yu's good deeds several times, making Elder Yu somewhat afraid of Yang Ming. He was afraid that Yang Ming would ruin his good deeds again. If it was purely based on strength, Elder Yu was not afraid, but he was afraid that Yang Ming had other ways to affect him. Therefore, Elder Yu called and asked the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, to help snipe Yang Ming. It would be best if it affected Yang Ming's trip, so that the Supernatural Investigation Bureau would send someone else over. Or they could do something to affect Yang Ming's condition. It would be best if they didn't let Yang Ming maintain his best condition. Of course, as a reward, Elder Yu would give the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, some of the rarest voodoo. However, the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, also knew how powerful Yang Ming was. Naturally, he didn't dare to fight head-on with Yang Ming and keep him here. This was a fool's approach. It was very likely that not only would he not be able to keep Yang Ming here, but he would also lose his life there. Therefore, the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, found Huang Youcai for a discussion. Huang Youcai was still very good at playing tricks, so the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, felt that he should have some suitable method. Sure enough, after Huang Youcai only hesitated for a moment, he thought of a suitable method. This method was to collect the photos of Yang Ming with different women and mail them to Chen Mengyan. This move was really vicious. If this were any other time, it might not have caused any serious consequences. As long as Yang Ming was given some time, the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, and Huang Youcai felt that he could solve this problem very well. But now it was different. Yang Ming was about to leave home and go to Yunnan to perform a mission. There was no time to quell the conflicts and anger between Chen Mengyan and others. If he wanted to completely solve this matter, he had to spend a lot of time at home dealing with it. These things couldn't be solved with just a few words. It had to go through a very long cycle to completely solve this matter. He had to have enough patience. In this case, Yang Ming could either choose to perform the mission or choose to stay with Chen Mengyan. There were only two choices to solve this matter. If he stayed, it would inevitably affect the mission to Yunnan. The Supernatural Investigation Bureau had already arranged the time. It was impossible to make any changes because of Yang Ming alone, and it was impossible to change. So, the only choice was to send another person to replace Yang Ming, and Yang Ming would miss this mission. He would stay at home to comfort Qin Mengyan and calm the relationship between the women. If he didn't stay and continue the mission to Yunnan, then Yang Ming would definitely be unwilling to leave. Judging from Yang Ming's actions during this time, Yang Ming was trying his best to arrange his funeral. He was afraid that after he left, there would be trouble in the family. He wanted to leave without any worries. However, the more it was like this, the more Huang Yukai felt that there was an opportunity. So, he arranged the photo incident this time to disturb Yang Ming's mood. In this way, even if Yang Ming left, he would leave with depression and unwillingness. God knew how the women in the family would fight when he left. With such a quarrel, even his parents would be uneasy. Even if Yang Ming went to Yunnan, how could he be at ease? Once this happened, Yang Ming would definitely have a shadow in his heart. If he carried out the mission with worries, how could it be good? However, such a perfect plan was delayed because of a small fry in the periphery. How could this not make Huang Yukai furious? He thought that this plan was perfect, but now, it was finished. Negligence. The behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, also smiled bitterly. He took out a small bottle from his pocket and poured it on the body of the young man with the buzz cut. Suddenly, the body of the young man with the buzz cut disappeared with a burst of bubbles and pungent yellow smoke. The behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, used the corpse-dissolving powder, which was one of the voodoo poisons given by Elder Yu. I have tried my best. You explain to Elder Yu yourself. Huang Yukai shook his head and sighed that he had lost a good opportunity. I will naturally explain. But Brother Huang, you don't have to worry. I have sent a sniper to wait for Yang Ming in Yanjing. I won't let him have an easy time. The behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, said fiercely. Oh. Sniper. Didn't you say that Yang Ming is the king of assassins? He is an assassin. What is the effect of a sniper on him? Don't let him not deal with Yang Ming, but be dealt with by Yang Ming. Wouldn't that be a waste of manpower? Huang Yukai was slightly stunned and asked. Chapter 2008. What I want to deal with is, of course, not Yang Ming, but other people. The behind-the-scenes boss Falcon smiled faintly and said, Yang Ming is the king of assassins. Wouldn't I be crazy to find someone to deal with him? However, I can still make a move on the people around him. People around him? You mean, you want to make a move on his friends? Huang Yukai agreed with this. Yes, I can't make a move on Yang Ming, but can't I make a move on his friends? As long as I kill or injure Yang Ming's friends, it will disturb Yang Ming's state of mind and achieve our goal, said the behind-the-scenes boss Falcon. Then, who do you choose to make a move on? Qin Mengyan or? Asked Huang Yukai. Qin Mengyan. This is Yang Ming's base camp. Qin Mengyan's father is the boss of the police station. If I make a move on her here, wouldn't I be a fool? The behind-the-scenes boss Falcon shook his head. We can't make a move on the people of Songjiang City. Something big will happen if we make a move. Even the new head of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau is also Yang Ming's best friend. If there is a problem with Yang Ming's friends and relatives, they will probably investigate to the end. We will be passive. Moreover, Yang Ming may not contact his family after he leaves. This won't cause any trouble for him. Oh. Then you mean? Huang Yukai was stunned. Yang Ming is going to Yanjing this time with two beautiful women. The behind-the-scenes boss Falcon smiled. I let my people make a move in Yanjing. If someone dies around Yangming, do you think he will still have the heart to go to Yunnan? This is also... Huang Youcai's smile was a little unnatural. Then, you mean to choose Xia Shui? No, it's Huang Lele. The behind-the-scenes boss Falcon smiled. It's funny. This chick is from the same family as you. Her surname is also Huang. 5,000 years ago, you might be from the same family. Now, there is no relationship. Huang Lele. Huang Yukai asked calmly, why didn't you choose Huang Lele? If she dies, it will serve as a warning to Yang Ming, right? Xia Shui still won't do. Firstly, her relationship with Yang Ming was not good enough. According to the investigation, she was only Yang Ming's confidant, not Yang Ming's woman. She did not have a substantial relationship with Yang Ming. If she was injured or dead, Yang Ming would not be affected too much. Secondly, her identity is rather special. If we kill her, we will be going against the entire Supernatural Investigation Bureau. How would we have the strength to contend against the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? Said the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon. I see. Huang Yukai nodded. That's true. Yeah, Huang Lele is different. She is Yang Ming's woman. If something happens to her, then Yang Ming is bound to be affected. After Huang Lele goes to Beijing, she will participate in close training. There is no chance to do anything to her, but Huang Lele has a lot of opportunities. Said the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon. Oh, in this case, it is better to injure Huang Lele. It is best not to kill her. If she is injured, she will definitely drag Yang Ming down. Let Yang Ming stay, so I suggest that it is better to injure her than to die. Said Huang Yukai. I'm afraid this can't be guaranteed. Everything depends on the sniper. Whether she is injured or dead, it is controlled and decided by that side. Said the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon. That's true. Huang Youcai's eyes flashed with an imperceptible color. Yang Ming's plane slowly landed at Beijing Airport. Yang Ming and his first-class passengers did not get off the plane with the normal passengers, but left the airport through a special passage. The fat man sent the two people out of the airport special passage. At this time, two people in black came over. Apparently, they knew the fat man. Comrade Fatty. We are the liaison of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau in the Beijing area. We are here to welcome Comrade Yang Ming and Comrade Xia Shui under the order of Captain Xia. One of the men in black took the initiative to reach out to the fat man. Hello. However, the fat man was obviously a bit unfamiliar with these two people. Although he showed enough enthusiasm and respect, the fat man still said, "Please show me your ID." "This is my ID." As the fat man spoke, he took out his ID. Although not everyone could enter the airport special passage, the fat man was a person who came back from the outside. He had a cautious attitude towards everything, so he was so cautious. The man in black was slightly stunned, but he said, "This is how it should be." As he spoke, he reached into his pocket. However, what he took out was not ID, but a pistol. The muzzle of the pistol was now pointed at Huang Lele next to Yang Ming. The fat man was suddenly shocked. He subconsciously reached for his gun, but it was too late. The other party was obviously one step faster. If they wanted to kill someone, the fat man couldn't make any reaction. However, what surprised the fat man was that Yang Ming next to him didn't seem to care at all. It was as if the person who these people pointed their guns at wasn't Huang Lele, nor was it Yang Ming's woman. All of this seemed to have nothing to do with Yang Ming. Huang Lele was dumbfounded. Xia Shui was also stunned. Her reaction was the same as the fat man's, but she had already handed in the police station's gun. Currently, she didn't have a pistol with her. In the future, she was only a member of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. She had nothing to do with the police station for the time being. Naturally, it was impossible for her to take the police station's gun. Xia Shui's second reaction was to kick the man in front of her, but an incredible thing happened. The man in black holding the gun inexplicably fell down. The pistol he took out did not fire, and it fell to the ground with the man in black. What is going on? Not only was Xia Shui stunned, but the fat man on the side was also stunned. Even the person who was with the man in black was stunned. However, at this moment, Yang Ming made a move. He directly caught the man in black, pinched his neck, and asked faintly, "Who sent you?" "Don't be excited. Please don't be excited. I was sent by Captain Xia." The man quickly defended his innocence. "Captain Xia? Which Captain Xia?" Xia Shui frowned. "Xia Bingbao, Captain Xia." The man said, "Captain Xia asked me and Brother Wang to come to the airport to meet Comrade Yang Ming and Comrade Xia Shui. As for why Brother Wang suddenly took out his gun, I don't know. Maybe he has Captain Xia's secret order, but I really don't know what happened." This person was also a little scared. He didn't know why the situation had changed so much. He was just a very ordinary liaison in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Today, he received an order to come to the airport to pick up 2 people. He thought it would be a very simple task as usual, but he didn't expect such a thing to happen. Chapter 2009. As for why Brother Wang suddenly took out his gun, this person had no idea. Yang Ming saw this person's true thoughts. Naturally, he didn't doubt that this person was in cahoots with the previous person. It seemed that this person was really from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. He was also sent by Xia Bingbao. As for why Brother Wang suddenly took out his gun, Yang Ming could only wait until Brother Wang woke up. Previously, when Brother Wang reached out to take out his ID, Yang Ming subconsciously looked at what Brother Wang took out with his keen senses as an assassin. Brother Wang probably wouldn't have dreamt that Yang Ming had X-ray vision, so Brother Wang's action of taking out his gun was clearly seen by Yang Ming. Yang Ming didn't care why he took out his gun. This guy took out a gun in front of him, so Yang Ming identified him as a dangerous person. Naturally, he wouldn't do nothing. So, Yang Ming immediately responded by throwing out the flying needle, making Brother Wang faint on the spot. This was also the reason why Yang Ming didn't take other countermeasures. Yang Ming had already made a move, so he wasn't afraid of anything. The reason why Brother Wang could take out his gun was just his body's habitual reaction. Yang Ming wasn't worried about this. So, Yang Ming let go of the person in his hand. The fat man held the pistol, but he looked at the person who was let go by Yang Ming with vigilance. He has no problem. He doesn't know. Yang Ming said faintly. Thank you, thank you." The man quickly thanked him. According to the current situation, it was normal for Yang Ming to misunderstand that he and Brother Wang were in cahoots. Even if he was beaten to death, it could only be said that he was wronged. Now that Yang Ming had opened his mouth to prove his innocence, it made this person a little happy. Oh. He has no problem. The fat man was stunned. The problem is the person named Brother Wang on the ground. He didn't die. He just fainted. Fat man, you immediately contact Brother Xia and let someone take him away for a surprise interrogation. See which side he is on. Yang Ming pointed to Brother Wang on the ground. Okay, I'll contact Captain Xia right away. The fat man nodded solemnly. Yang Ming had some doubts about Brother Wang's sudden attack. If Brother Wang had directly pointed his gun at himself, Yang Ming would have felt that it was normal. The key problem was that he pointed his gun at Huang Lele. This made Yang Ming feel that it was somewhat inconceivable. Why is this person pointing at Huang Lele? Could it be Huang Lele's enemy? Or could it be that the enemy of the Huang family sent them to assassinate Huang Lele? The most important thing was Brother Wang's identity. Brother Wang was obviously a member of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Since this person was able to infiltrate the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, he was obviously not a simple person. Moreover, he would not be used unless it was a critical moment. This was also the reason why Yang Ming couldn't figure it out. Since this person wanted to assassinate Huang Lele, why did he have to do it here? Huang Lele was not an important figure. Usually, she was not protected. It was obviously not too difficult to assassinate Huang Lele. However, this Brother Wang, or the person behind Brother Wang, chose to assassinate Huang Lele in this situation. This would completely expose Brother Wang's identity as an undercover in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, and his years of hard work would be ruined. It was obviously not worth it to do so. Therefore, Yang Ming was very puzzled. Did this Brother Wang make a mistake? It's not worth it to sacrifice so casually. His role as a chess piece was too ordinary, wasn't it? Soon, a car once again drove into the entrance of the special passage and stopped next to Yang Ming and the others. The person who got out of the car was Xia Bingbao himself. Xia Bingbao's expression was a bit serious. After getting out of the car, he glanced at it and quickly walked over to Yang Ming. Yang Ming, I'm really sorry. It's my negligence in work. I didn't investigate the identity of this person and let this traitor infiltrate the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Xia Bingbao reviewed his mistakes as soon as he came up, which made Yang Ming less angry. Yang Ming had some complaints about Xia Bingbao in his heart. How did this person lead the team? In the headquarters of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, someone else's chess piece actually infiltrated. This is really ironic. However, since Xia Bingbao said so, Yang Ming couldn't say anything more. He just nodded. Find out the truth as soon as possible. Take these two people back. Xia Bingbao waved his hand and pointed to Brother Wang on the ground and another person with him. He ordered his men. The person who came with Brother Wang was suddenly a little dumbfounded. Captain Xia, I am innocent. I didn't know that Brother Wang was going to commit murder with a gun. I didn't know at all. Whether you are innocent or not, I will investigate it myself, said Xia Bingbao faintly. Ah. The man's face suddenly turned a little pale. He didn't expect that he would encounter such an unlucky thing. After graduating from university, he found a very good job in the envious eyes of others. The Supernatural Investigation Bureau was a very mysterious and privileged organization. Although he was only a liaison, he had power that others couldn't have. In particular, a liaison like him could show off his power. For example, he could enter the airport through a special passage. He usually had some preferential access and unimpeded access to other institutions. However, he didn't expect that he would fall into a passive situation at this moment. Today's matter could bring about a prison sentence for him. He didn't know what the final investigation result would be. Would Brother Wang bite him back? Just based on the fact that he had the best relationship with Brother Wang, he was afraid that he couldn't keep his job. Who asked him to be careless in making friends? He had some regrets, but it was useless to regret at this moment. There was no medicine for regret in the world. He could only bow his head helplessly now. Brother Xia, it has nothing to do with him. He doesn't know about this. Let him go. Yang Ming knew that this person was innocent because his thoughts couldn't lie. He couldn't have known that Yang Ming had the ability to see through other people's thoughts, and he couldn't have forced himself to think of those words in advance to confuse Yang Ming. People's thoughts may sometimes betray everything in a moment. It was uncontrollable. So, Yang Ming didn't believe that he was pretending. Yang Ming's ability could accurately determine whether a person was innocent or not, so Yang Ming was so sure to defend this person. Xia Bingbao was slightly stunned. He looked at Yang Ming with some surprise. He didn't expect that Yang Ming would take the initiative to defend this person. However, Xia Bingbao didn't doubt Yang Ming's intentions. Xia Bingbao was very clear about Yang Ming's character. He was the kind of person who was quick to avenge. If you hurt his relatives and friends, no matter what you did, he would make you pay with blood. Chapter 2010. But if this person was really innocent, Yang Ming would not touch him, and it was impossible for him to vent his anger on an innocent person. All of this is about Brother Wang on the ground. When he wakes up, just interrogate him. This person doesn't know anything. Yang Ming glanced at Xia Bingbao and explained. Well, since you said so, then you don't have to take little Jing away. Just take Wang Cable on the ground. Xia Bingbao nodded and said to his men. These men received the order and naturally let go of little Zhang. They stuffed Wang Cable on the ground into the car. You go back and interrogate Wang Cable first. I will be there later. Xia Bingbao instructed his men. Yes. These men got in the car and quickly left. Xia Bingbao turned to look at little Zhang. Little Zhang, where is your car? Let's go together. Over there, Captain Xia. Little Zhang said with some fear and trepidation. He looked at Yang Ming gratefully, but with Xia Bingbao here, he couldn't thank him. And let's go. You lead the way. Xia Bingbao said to little Zhang, and then said to the fatty, you come with us. Since you are here, don't rush to go back. No problem. For Xia Bingbao's words, the fatty naturally had to listen. Along the way, Yang Ming seemed to be fine, but he was full of vigilance. He always paid attention to the surrounding movements and protected Huang Lele behind him. He formed a blind spot at any time and place, not giving others any opportunities to take advantage of. Although this was the airport, the security was very high. Only people with special identities like Brother Wang could come in with a gun, but there was no harm in being careful. After the previous incident, Yang Ming was also afraid that another person with special identity would come and wait for them with a gun somewhere. Since these people could infiltrate the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, it was more likely that they could infiltrate the airport. Fortunately, nothing happened along the way. Yang Ming smoothly entered the commercial vehicle, but even so, Yang Ming also let Huang Lele sit in the middle of the commercial vehicle. This was the sniper's blind spot. If he couldn't aim at the target, the armor-piercing bullets would be useless. Seeing Yang Ming's arrangement, Xia Bingbao couldn't help but give a thumbs up. Yang Ming's experience in protecting people was comparable to a professional. Even the professional bodyguards in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau were only so-so. Yang Ming, this person, didn't seem to have learned anything systematically, but he seemed to be proficient in everything and knew everything. For example, Yang Ming's current situation. This was also an important reason why Xia Bingbao was so optimistic about Yang Ming. Yang Ming, as a peripheral personnel, could actually learn without a teacher in this situation. This was a bit incredible, but Yang Ming did it. It seemed that just from the information he had learned, his understanding of Yang Ming was only a part. There was definitely a side behind Yang Ming that he didn't know. Just like the scene in Las Vegas, even Xia Bingbao was shocked. The local tyrant was actually suppressed by Yang Ming. It was conceivable that Yang Ming's power had reached a terrifying level. According to Xia Bingbao's long-term investigation, he only found that Yang Ming had a certain relationship with the Buffon family and the Douglas family, but he wasn't very clear about the specific relationship. After all, overseas was not the same as within the country. It was impossible for all the intelligence personnel there to be dispatched to investigate Yang Ming. Yang Ming, with this move of yours, you can become a professional security guard. Xia Bingbao said in admiration. Brother Xia is joking. I have the Ming Yang Security Company under me. It can be said that security work is my old profession. When the big star Miss Shuya came to Songjiang City for a concert, it was also our Ming Yang Security Company who came forward to protect her, said Yang Ming faintly. Hee, you don't have to hide it. This time when you go to Yunnan, use whatever skills you have. If you hold back, you may lose your life. I believe you know the importance of this without me saying it, said Xia Bingbao. I naturally understand this. This is risking my life. Naturally, I won't hide anything easily. Yang Ming said with a smile, but according to this mission, I also have a few requests for you. I hope you can agree to them. You brat, didn't you already make a few requests before? I also followed your suggestions one by one. You brat are still not satisfied. What other requests do you have? Don't push your luck. We haven't gone to Yunnan yet, and you are already opening your mouth like a lion. Xia Bingbao looked at Yang Ming with a dumbfounded expression. Brother Xia, my requests are based on the basis that I solve the problem and return safely, not the requests before I go. Yang Ming smiled slightly and explained, if I win, it is natural to make some requests, right? Oh. The conditions after the victory. Xia Bingbao was slightly stunned, but then nodded and said, this is indeed the right thing to do. If that's the case, you can make a request. If I can agree, I will try my best to agree to it. Okay. Yang Ming nodded. After doing this, I am going to gradually retire from the underworld. I am going to settle on X Island. I believe that Brother Xia is very clear about the situation of X Island, right? And X Island has a close relationship with you. There is the support of the Buffon family behind the scenes. I am not surprised that you are living there in seclusion. This is your freedom. Xia Bingbao smiled. But the meaning of your words is not just this, right? You want to tell me that after you retire from the underworld, you will no longer participate in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau's matters, right? Brother Xia is smart. Yes, that's what I mean. Yang Ming nodded. I am going to retire from the underworld. Naturally, I don't want to care about other things. I can promise you half of this condition. Xia Bingbao carefully pondered and said. Half? What do you mean? Yang Ming was stunned and asked. Half of the meaning is that you will semi-retire. If there is something that we can't solve or something that is difficult to solve, I will invite you to participate as a private individual. Of course, it is just an invitation. The final decision is yours. What do you think? Asked Xia Bingbao. Brother Xia, you have said so. Do I still have a reason to refuse? Yang Ming smiled slightly. He knew that Xia Bingbao would not let him go completely. However, Xia Bingbao's proposal was reasonable. It was not a forced invitation, but a private invitation. This was something that Yang Ming could accept. In this way, the choice was in Yang Ming's hands. It was not a command. Yang Ming was a person who valued friendship. Naturally, he would not stand idly by. Chapter 2011. Hee, if that's the case, then I will promise you. Xia Bingbao said, are there any other conditions? Do you want to say them all? As for the rest, let's talk about it after my triumphant return. Yang Ming couldn't think of any conditions for a while, but in order not to waste this good opportunity, Yang Ming extended the time of the conditions to after he came back. It could be considered that Yang Ming played a little trick. All right. Xia Bingbao smiled. Then, let's do it after I come back. The car slowly drove on the road, and an abrupt phone call suddenly rang. Yang Ming was slightly stunned. At this time, no one should be calling me, right? Before I left, I had already made it clear to my family and Chen Mengyan that after embarking on the journey, they should not contact me. Moreover, my phone number will definitely be changed when I arrive at Yanjing for training. It will be replaced with a satellite confidential phone that can be used in Yunnan. Yang Ming picked up the phone and looked at the caller ID. It was actually an unfamiliar number, which made Yang Ming slightly stunned. Yang Ming immediately picked up the phone. Hello, who are you looking for? Yang Ming. There was a hoarse voice on the other side of the phone. Apparently, it was obtained through a voice changer. It's me. Who are you? After Yang Ming heard this voice, he suddenly frowned. This voice made him a little uncomfortable. You don't need to know who I am. I just called to tell you one thing. Someone is targeting Huang Lele next to you. They want to kill her. It may be a sniper. You are on your own. After that, the phone was hung up, and there was no sound. Hello? Hello? Who are you? Yang Ming listened to the words on the other side of the phone and was suddenly stunned. Who is this person? Why is he informing me at this time? If it were before, Yang Ming might not believe it. But now, Huang Lele was almost shot at the airport. Yang Ming had to pay attention to this call. Which side is this caller from? Is it my friend who got the news in advance and wanted to inform me? Or was it someone from the enemy deliberately calling to confuse him for some purpose? Or perhaps this person was an enemy and not a friend. He called just for some special purpose. He didn't want Huang Lele to be hurt in this situation. Who was this person? For a moment, Yang Ming had no clue at all. This made Yang Ming take a deep breath. He was at a loss. Brother Xia, help me check where the call came from. Yang Ming turned to look at Xia Bingbao, who was not far away. What's wrong, Yang Ming? Who called? Your face doesn't look right. Xia Bingbao also saw that something was wrong with Yang Ming, so he asked. Nothing. Yang Ming frowned and said, I received a phone call. The other party told me that someone is targeting Huang Lele and wants to kill her. It may be a sniper. Then I should take care of myself. Ah! Huang Lele couldn't help but exclaim. She was also a little scared. Yang Ming, I don't seem to have offended anyone recently, right? Why does someone want to kill me? I don't know for the time being, but I will check it out as soon as possible and solve this problem. Yang Ming comforted Huang Lele. On Xia Bingbao's side, he had quickly made a phone call and began to investigate Yang Ming's phone number. He believed that the results would come out soon. However, the results did come out quickly, but this result made Yang Ming very dissatisfied. The time of the phone call was too short. I couldn't find out the source of the call. The other party was transferred through overseas lines many times. Xia Bingbao said with some regret. Forget it. This has nothing to do with you. Although Yang Ming was not satisfied, he also knew that this matter had nothing to do with Xia Bingbao. It was not that Xia Bingbao's ability was not good enough. Xia Bingbao's technical power could not find the source of the phone call, which meant that there was no need to check again. There would be no results even if he checked again. Don't worry, Yang Ming. I will transfer the elites to protect Huang Lele 24 hours a day until the matter is resolved. Xiao Bingbao was afraid that Yang Ming would be worried and delay his trip to Yunnan, so he took the initiative to volunteer. Hee, let me do it personally. Although I don't mean to target you, I am really worried about your people. Yang Ming shook his head. Xiao Bingbao was a little embarrassed. He naturally knew what Yang Ming was talking about. Since Brother Wang could sneak in and receive Yang Ming openly, the Supernatural Investigation Bureau might have other people's pawns. Yang Ming's worry was normal. Can't you tell which one is sent by the people outside? Do you want me to choose someone and you can take a look again? Asked Xiao Bingbao. I am not omnipotent. Before they have any ideas, I can't judge who has a problem. Yang Ming said faintly, there is no need to discuss this matter. I will personally protect Lele these 2 days. Alright, then let Lele live in our training base so that you don't have to worry about anything. On the one hand, you won't delay the training. On the other hand, you can take care of Lele smoothly. What do you think? Asked Xiao Bingbao. Training. Yang Ming couldn't help but frown. For Yang Ming, he didn't want to participate in any training. He felt that it was useless and would only delay time. Hiding in the training base and not coming out was not Yang Ming's character. Yang Ming wanted to find those who wanted to deal with Huang Lele and kill them one by one. This was what Yang Ming wanted to do. Yes, Xia Shui told you, right? In order to improve everyone's coping ability, I specially organized a training. Said Xiao Bingbao. The instructors were invited from abroad. They are masters of jungle survival. Brother Xia, I don't think this training is useful. I don't want to participate. As for whether others participate or not, I don't have any opinion, but I won't participate. Said Yang Ming. Yang Ming, you can't say that. I know your ability, but it is also good to learn more things. Don't rush to refuse, okay? Xiao Bingbao persuaded Yang Ming, then lowered his voice and said, moreover, these 2 instructors are not ordinary people. Not ordinary people? Who are they? Are they special people? Asked Yang Ming with a smile. You are right. They are indeed special people. You will know when you go. Xiao Bingbao nodded and said seriously. Oh. Special people. Brother Xia, then tell me. What kind of special people are these? I am a little curious. Yang Ming looked up and asked, Brother Xia, if they are really special, can you tell me first? Chapter 2012. I will tell you first. It's fine, but don't be surprised. Xiao Bingbao's voice was very slow. There are no outsiders here, so I will be blunt. These 2 people are foreign assassins. What? Foreign assassins? Yang Ming was slightly stunned and said with some surprise. How is it? Is it very special? Are you tempted? Are you interested now? Xiao Bingbao asked with some pride. To be honest, no. Yang Ming said faintly, I don't know why you invited 2 assassins, but I have no interest in learning from them. Yang Ming, it seems that you don't understand the assassin profession. Indeed, in China, there are very few assassins. When people talk about assassins, they stop at the most superficial level of hiring someone to kill. That is, the most ordinary kind of gangster level, revenge company, etc. In fact, these are not real assassins. Xiao Bingbao said word by word. Oh. Mentioning assassins in front of Yang Ming was somewhat like showing off in front of an expert. When it came to assassins, if Yang Ming didn't know, then it was even more impossible for Xiao Bingbao to know. However, Xiao Bingbao didn't know Yang Ming's identity. Yang Ming couldn't say it, so he could only laugh it off. Yang Ming, what are you laughing at? Don't take it lightly. In fact, assassin is a very mysterious profession. I know you may be disdainful, but assassins have a long history in many countries. Xia Bingbao said seriously, for example, the world's famous Butterfly Assassin Group and Black Butterfly Assassin Group. These are professional existences. Don't underestimate assassins. Each of these people is a first-class top master. In order to cope with a variety of tasks, these people not only have superb assassination skills, but also brilliant survival skills. In some bad environments, they can also survive. Hee hee. Yang Ming continued to laugh. He didn't expect Xia Bingbao to know about the Black Butterfly Assassin Group. Not simple. If he only knew about the Butterfly Assassin Group, Yang Ming would not be surprised. The Black Butterfly Assassin Group had not been established for a long time, but Xia Bingbao already knew about it. Obviously, he also knew about the world's assassin group rankings. From the fact that he could invite a foreign professional assassin as an instructor this time, it could be seen that Xia Bingbao still had a lot of connections. However, even so, Yang Ming couldn't comment on Xia Bingbao's words, and Yang Ming couldn't say anything. Yang Ming, why are you laughing again? You really underestimated these assassins. Xia Bingbao. Kill. Kill. It can be said that assassins will do anything to achieve their goals. Although this is a bit unimportant, it is an example for people like you. It's because they are similar to you. After all, the purpose of your trip is to kill Elder You. As for the process and means, they are secondary. As long as you achieve the goal, it is good. I know this. This has always been my style, so I don't have to go to the training. Yang Ming said faintly. Seeing that Yang Ming was not interested in his words, Xia Bingbao was also a little helpless. This Yang Ming is not easy to persuade. However, he still didn't intend to give up and continued, Yang Ming, I won't say more. You should understand that there is always someone better than you. There is always someone better than you. Although you have the ability and the capital to be proud, you should know that there are more powerful people. Hee hee, yes, the two assassins should understand that there are more powerful people than them. They are just two assassins. They are not the king of assassins, and they are not invincible. Yang Ming said faintly. Forget it. I won't say anything more at this moment. Xia Bingbao sighed helplessly, so, you promise me one thing. Don't rush to a conclusion now. Wait until you see it. If you think it is useless, then I won't say anything. If you think it is useful, then stay and learn. Is that okay? Of course. Yang Ming smiled slightly and did not refuse. After all, if he refused again, it would be a bit unreasonable. So, Yang Ming did not refuse strongly this time, but agreed. Anyway, he would go through the motions at that time. It was considered giving Xia Bingbao face. Xia Shui, who was on the side, listened to the conversation between her brother and Yang Ming. She felt a little indignant. Isn't this Yang Ming a little too arrogant? Xia Shui still had a certain understanding of foreign assassins. She knew how terrifying they were. These people were not inferior to the existence of the special forces. They were even stronger. Once their goal was determined, they would kill by hook or by crook. If she could learn from these people, it would be a kind of improvement to her own ability. Thinking of this, Xia Shui persuaded Yang Ming, in fact, my brother is right. There is always someone better. Our own abilities are limited now. There is such a good opportunity to improve, so why not? I just feel that there is nothing to learn from these two assassins. Yang Ming really had a hard time. He couldn't tell Xia Shui and Xia Bingbao that he was the most powerful assassin and the king of assassins, right? Yang Ming couldn't reveal this secret. Yang Ming, I think you still have a prejudice against assassins. You haven't seen a real assassin. You don't know how powerful assassins are. You haven't seen a real assassin in China, so you have doubts about their ability. But what I want to say is that assassins are really powerful. Xia Shui said word by word. As a police officer, I also know some inside stories. So what I want to tell you is that you don't underestimate assassins. Xia Shui, I think you don't understand what I mean at all. I don't mean to underestimate assassins, and I didn't say that assassins aren't powerful. It's just your wishful thinking. Yang Ming retorted with a wry smile. In fact, I also think that assassins are very powerful. But what I want to say is that the two assassins that you told me are not very powerful. You haven't even seen them. How do you know that these two assassins are not powerful? Xia Bingbao frowned and asked. Yang Ming's attitude made him somewhat dissatisfied. It was good to be confident, but blind confidence was arrogance. Chapter 2013. I guessed. Yang Ming said faintly, I believe that the identity of the truly powerful assassins is confidential. They will not be easily exposed to the public. Even if it is a small-scale training, they will not participate. Therefore, the two assassins that you contacted, I am afraid that they can only be at the second-rate level at most, or even not at the second-rate level. Moreover, I don't think you can contact such powerful assassins with your channel. Guessed? Xia Bingbao couldn't help but be dumbfounded. He didn't know what to say about Yang Ming's reason. Guessed? Xia Bingbao said helplessly, you mean, you know more powerful assassins. If the more powerful assassins come forward to teach, you will participate. This is hard to say. It depends on how powerful they are. At least they are more powerful than me, said Yang Ming faintly. I know, Yang Ming. After all this time, you think that these two assassins are not as good as you, so you keep rejecting them, right? Xia Bingbao finally understood Yang Ming's meaning. It seemed that Yang Ming kept rejecting them for a reason. It was because Yang Ming felt that these two people were not as good as him, so he refused to participate in the training. In a sense, you can understand it this way. Yang Ming nodded and agreed faintly. Hee, then let's do it this way. When the time comes, you still have to see it for yourself. After seeing their methods, you can judge for yourself. It is still up to you whether you want to learn or not, said Xia Bingbao. All right, then it's settled. Yang Ming did not continue to discuss this issue. If he continued to discuss it, he was afraid that there would be no result along the way. After all, Yang Ming had already vetoed the content of this training in his heart. The car drove slowly on the road, neither too fast nor too slow. Although this car did not look special from the outside, in fact, it had been specially modified. It was not much worse than an armored vehicle. It was an advanced bulletproof car. The car turned left and right and finally drove to the suburbs. It was a road that seemed to be relatively sparsely populated. There were very few vehicles passing by here. Only occasionally, one could see a car passing by. The further they went, the fewer cars there were. After driving for a while, they could only see vehicles with military license plates on the road. In front of them was a military administrative area. Only Xia Bingbao's MPV had civilian license plates. The car stopped at the entrance of the military administrative area compound, but the person in charge of managing the gate just glanced at the car and let it go directly. Obviously, he knew Xia Bingbao's MPV. Our training base this time is in the military administrative area. It is hidden. Will not be disturbed by the outside world. Yang Ming nodded. Then if I travel on foot, do I need to apply for a pass? Yang Ming had made up his mind not to participate in any training, so it was impossible for him to stay at the training base with nothing to do. That was why he asked these questions. Xiao Bingbao obviously guessed Yang Ming's intentions, but he didn't say much. He also knew that this issue had been discussed for a long time before, and there was no result to discuss it again. So, he just explained to Yang Ming, "You don't have to apply for a pass. You just have to show your Supernatural Investigation Bureau ID. As for bringing people, when you take Huang Lele out, make a registration record and declare that you are one of our people. When you come back, you can come in directly without registration." "So, I got it." Yang Ming nodded and noted it down. The car passed through another checkpoint, but this checkpoint was set up by the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. There was a clear sign at the door stating that vehicles and personnel not from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau were not allowed to enter. However, Xiao Bingbao's car was directly let in. After the car drove into the compound, it didn't go far before it finally stopped in front of a closed gymnasium-like building. Apart from this gymnasium, there were no other landmark buildings in this area. There were dense trees and jungles next to it, making it very hidden. Trees were also planted above the gymnasium. If one looked at the satellite image, this area was full of forests and trees, which were relatively hidden. Xiao Bingbao got off the car first, and Yang Ming, Xia Shui, Fatty, and Huang Lele also got off the car. Little Zheng, who was driving, also got off together and walked to the entrance of the gymnasium. At the entrance of the gymnasium, there were fully armed personnel guarding it. It was very heavily guarded, but Yang Ming and his group were led by Xiao Bingbao. Naturally, they were not carefully interrogated. Xiao Bingbao's position in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau was very high. It was said that he was also a candidate for the next director, so the people he brought naturally had no problems. Yang Ming followed Xiao Bingbao smoothly into the gymnasium and came to a lounge. Xiao Bingbao said, "Little Zheng, you get everyone some drinks. I will go out first. Yang Ming, your teammates are all here. I will call them over first. You all can get familiar with each other." "Okay." Yang Ming nodded. He did not refuse Xiao Bingbao's proposal. He did not want to learn any skills from the assassin, but Yang Ming was willing to get in touch with his teammates in advance. After a while, Xiao Bingbao returned to the lounge, but behind him were three people. One of them was Lu Yezi. Behind him, there were two people he did not know, a man and a woman. The man looked very energetic, and the woman was very beautiful. Although Yang Ming was appointed as the captain by Xiao Bingbao, Yang Ming was still very enthusiastic about his own team members. After all, these people were people who had to fight together with Yang Ming. Yang Ming would definitely not give them any attitude. Lu Yezi was also his old friend. "Death Squad members, gather." Xiao Bingbao ordered the people present. "Yes." The three people behind Xiao Bingbao, as well as Xia Shui, all stood together in a straight line, facing Xiao Bingbao with their straight bodies. Xiao Bingbao's order made Yang Ming stunned. "Death Squad. My team has become a death squad. And these team members seem to know about this earlier than me, the captain." Thinking of this, Yang Ming couldn't help but smile bitterly and walked over. "Brother Xia, what are you doing? Why didn't I know about it? You are the death squad captain." "I didn't call you. I called the team members." Xiao Bingbao really couldn't be angry with Yang Ming, so in front of Yang Ming, Xiao Bingbao was still pleasant. Chapter 2014. Hee, are these the members of the Suicide Squad? Yang Ming smiled slightly and looked at the four people in front of Xiao Bingbao and asked. "Yes, Yang Ming. You are the captain of the Suicide Squad. You have 4 members under you. From today onwards, these 4 members are all your subordinates. You are responsible for their safety. They will also listen to your orders, said Xiao Bingbao. Yang Ming nodded. Suddenly, he looked solemn and said to the 4 people, "Introduce yourself." "Let's start with you," Yang Ming said and pointed to Xia Shui. Although Xia Shui was a little dissatisfied, her brother was next to her. Yang Ming was the captain appointed by her brother. Even if she was unhappy, she wouldn't say it in front of her brother and embarrass him. So Xia Shui said seriously, "Yes, Captain. My name is Xia Shui, the Deputy Bureau Chief of the Songjiang City Police Station and the Captain of the Criminal Investigation Team. I'm good at kickboxing and grappling techniques." Yang Ming nodded and glanced at the person next to Xia Shui. This person was Lu Yezi, Yang Ming's old acquaintance. However, Lu Yezi also admired Yang Ming very much. He had recognized Yang Ming as the boss before, so he was not dissatisfied with Yang Ming being the captain at this moment. On the contrary, he felt that only Yang Ming could be qualified for this position, so he immediately said respectfully, "My name is Lu Yezi, code name Yezi, the number 1 ace of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau's field team. I'm good at firearms and investigation." Yang Ming nodded again and looked at the person next to Lu Yezi. Yang Ming didn't know this person, but he should be an elite if he could join this suicide squad. "My name is Feng Tianlong, code name Long Feng, the Deputy Captain of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau Special Task Force," said the man proudly. Deputy Captain of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau Special Task Force. Isn't this Xia Bingbao's deputy? Xia Bingbao is the captain of the Special Task Force, then this Feng Tianlong. Yang Ming was a little surprised. This person was really an elite. Yang Ming didn't expect Xia Bingbao to even send his deputy. Since this person was able to become the vice captain of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau's Special Task Force, it was obvious that he had some skills. There was no way that he was just a good-for-nothing. Yang Ming also saw an unruly expression on this person's face. It was obvious that this person had some thoughts about him, the captain. Logically speaking, the death squad was formed under Xia Bingbao. As Xia Bingbao's deputy, Feng Tianlong should be the captain. However, this captain fell on Yang Ming's head. If one were to say that Feng Tianlong had no thoughts, Yang Ming would not believe it. However, Yang Ming didn't care. In the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, strength was everything. If Yang Ming's strength was stronger than his, he would naturally be convinced and wouldn't say anything else. Vice Captain of the Secret Service Team. Not bad. You must be quite skilled. Yang Ming nodded faintly. He just gave a slight compliment and no longer looked at Feng Tianlong. Instead, he turned his gaze to the woman beside Feng Tianlong. "My name is Xiao Susu. I belong to the Supernatural Investigation Bureau's Supernatural Investigation Division. I have a little research on voodoo," Xiao Susu said quietly. Yang Ming was slightly stunned. He didn't expect Xiao Susu to be a technical talent. However, this trip to Yunnan was too dangerous. Yang Ming was a little worried about Xiao Susu's safety, so he turned to look at Xia Bingbao. "Brother Xia, Xiao Susu's kung fu shouldn't be very good. This trip to Yunnan is dangerous. I'm afraid that something will happen to her." Yang Ming had Lan Ling, so naturally, he wasn't afraid of voodoo. Lan Ling's research on voodoo could be said to be much better than Xiao Susu. After all, Lan Ling specialized in this thing. "Captain, don't look down on people. My kung fu is also good." Xiao Susu's face suddenly turned red when Yang Ming said this. "I will protect her." At this time, Feng Tianlong also spoke faintly. As he spoke, Feng Tianlong punched the coffee table in the lounge. The thick marble coffee table was suddenly smashed into powder. Yang Ming's heart trembled. This Feng Tianlong was indeed not a simple person to be able to become the vice-captain of the Secret Service team. Just this move alone was enough to look down on the heroes. Yang Ming also knew that Feng Tianlong was showing off to him. Through this move, he was also expressing his dissatisfaction with him being the captain. With this kind of super strength, Yang Ming knew that even if he could do it, it would be very laborious. He definitely wouldn't be as relaxed as Feng Tianlong. However, sometimes, strength alone was useless. Yang Ming was good at assassination and had the butterfly microsteps. He wasn't afraid of Feng Tianlong. Therefore, no sooner said than done, Yang Ming's body moved. With a ghostly speed, he floated behind Feng Tianlong and turned his palm into a knife, cutting the back of Feng Tianlong's neck. Of course, Yang Ming didn't use much strength. He didn't want to kill Feng Tianlong. He just wanted to give him a small warning. Feng Tianlong was shocked and subconsciously turned around, wanting to catch Yang Ming. However, Yang Ming floated back to his original position and looked at Feng Tianlong calmly. Your strength isn't bad, but your speed is a bit lacking. If this was a battlefield, you would already be dead. Remember, you are going to put your life on the line, not a street thug. What's the use of breaking a coffee table? Are you going to carry a coffee table to the battlefield and break it in front of your enemy to scare them? Feng Tianlong's face turned red. He really underestimated Yang Ming. He didn't expect Yang Ming to be so strong. He killed him in an instant. If Yang Ming wanted to attack him, he would probably be dead already. At this moment, Feng Tianlong was completely convinced by Yang Ming. He didn't know how strong Yang Ming was, but Yang Ming was right. Strength alone wasn't enough. It had to be combined with some skills. Captain Yang, I've learned a lot. Thinking of this, Feng Tianlong sincerely bowed to Yang Ming and said, I've offended you before. Please forgive me and don't take it to heart. Hee, it's fine. Yang Ming waved his hand. If you're not convinced, then let's spar. Is there anyone else who wants to spar? Xiao Bingbao glanced at Feng Tianlong and let out a sigh of relief. When he arranged for Yang Ming to be the captain of the team, he considered all aspects. Yang Ming's ability was unquestionable, but as his assistant, Feng Tianlong was also a rare expert. Xiao Bingbao was afraid that he would be unhappy if he followed Yang Ming's lead. Sure enough, this kind of dissatisfaction erupted at the first meeting. But what Xiao Bingbao didn't expect was that in just a moment, Yang Ming was able to suppress Feng Tianlong and gain the upper hand. Feng Tianlong was convinced to admit defeat. Chapter 2015. This kind of speed made Xiao Bingbao a little stunned. It seemed that he had chosen the right person. At the same time, he was also happy for Yang Ming. In this way, Feng Tianlong would definitely not have any objections in the future. He would follow Yang Ming wholeheartedly. In a team, the most terrible thing was the discord between teammates. Now, Yang Ming's move naturally prevented this kind of thing from happening in the future. As Yang Ming spoke, his eyes swept to Lu Yezi and Xia Shui. As for Xiao Susu, he automatically ignored her. Lu Yezi naturally wouldn't provoke Yang Ming. He had already recognized Yang Ming as the boss. Naturally, he wouldn't spar with Yang Ming. Wasn't that courting death? He was very clear about Yang Ming's skills. He admired him, so why would he look for trouble? Therefore, Lu Yezi took the lead to smile at Yang Ming in a friendly manner, indicating that he gave up. Xia Shui was naturally a little dissatisfied. After all, she was a girl who was eager to outdo others. These days, she had been arguing with Yang Ming. They were a pair of quarrelsome lovers. However, Although Xia Shui was dissatisfied in her heart, she also knew her own situation. She knew how much she was capable. When she fought with Yang Ming, she never had the upper hand. Therefore, Xia Shui was dissatisfied in her heart. She could only be dissatisfied in her heart, but she was still calm on the surface. Looking at Xia Shui lowering her head, Yang Ming smiled slightly and said, I have given you the opportunity to spar. It seems that no one has any objections. Since no one is dissatisfied, then you must absolutely obey my orders in the future. However, what surprised Yang Ming was that Xiao Susu, who had been ignored by Yang Ming, stood up at this moment. Captain Yang, I want to ask for your advice. Xiao Susu said slowly, this will prove my value. Oh. You? Yang Ming was slightly stunned. Susu, go back. Feng Tianlong suddenly felt embarrassed. Although Yang Ming didn't know, Xia Bingbao and the rest of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau knew about his relationship with Xiao Susu. There was an ambiguous relationship between him and Xiao Susu, but Xiao Susu never agreed to his pursuit. Although Feng Tianlong didn't know why Xiao Susu rejected him, Feng Tianlong could feel Xiao Susu's feelings for him. Their relationship was closer than that of a close female friend. It was similar to the relationship between Yang Ming and Xia Shui. So now that Xiao Susu stood up for Feng Tianlong's face was a little lost. He was a 7-foot-tall man. If he lost, he lost. If he was not as good as the other party, then so be it. How could he ask his girlfriend to come out and take revenge? That's not what a gentleman would do. Sky Dragon, I want to spar with Captain Yang. It's my own idea. I hope you won't interfere with me. Xiao Susu said word by word. Although her voice was very soft, it revealed a kind of firmness. Yang Ming was slightly stunned. He looked at this beautiful girl in a new light. Xiao Susu should be a very opinionated girl. She didn't necessarily want to help Feng Tianlong by sparring with him. Yang Ming wasn't stupid. He saw the expression between Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu and guessed their relationship. But Yang Ming felt that Xiao Susu wasn't the kind of girl who would be upset when her man lost a fight. Ha, of course. Yang Ming nodded with a smile. Comrade Xiao Susu, what do you want to spar with me? I'll sneak attack. You'll counter it, Xiao Susu said calmly. Okay. Yang Ming nodded, then let's start. You sneak attack me, I'll stand here and take your attacks. Okay. Xiao Susu was still as calm as ever. She looked like an otherworldly fairy. Xiao Susu waved her hand lightly and stood aside, quietly looking at Yang Ming. Why aren't you attacking? Yang Ming asked curiously. Captain Yang, I've already attacked, Xiao Susu said something shocking. You've already attacked. When? Yang Ming frowned and was slightly stunned. Just now, when I waved my hand. Xiao Susu said calmly, I've already poisoned you, but you didn't take any precautions. I'm very disappointed. You poisoned me with voodoo. Yang Ming frowned again. I've already told you before that I've done some research on voodoo. This is a bit of information disclosure. Xiao Susu said calmly, to me, voodoo is my forte, not other martial arts. However, you didn't pay attention to it, and instead underestimated me, causing you to overlook this point. As a result, I successfully completed the goo. Susu, what are you doing? Hurry up and remove the voodoo for Captain Yang. Feng Tianlong couldn't stand it anymore. Poison voodoo, not to mention Yang Ming, no one would be able to defend against it. How was this a competition? This was clearly a one-sided trap. It's not a serious poison, just diarrhea. After 5 minutes, Captain Yang will have abdominal pain, and the symptoms will disappear automatically after a day, Xiao Susu said. Hee, then if I don't have diarrhea, does this count as my win? Yang Ming suddenly smiled and asked. Of course, we've already agreed on the rules. I'll sneak attack, you'll neutralize it. If you neutralize my voodoo, then I'll lose, Xiao Susu said calmly. Okay, then let's wait for 5 minutes and see. Yang Ming smiled, although 2 to 3 minutes have passed, we'll start the countdown again. From now on, we'll decide the winner in 5 minutes. Xiao Susu was slightly stunned. She didn't expect Yang Ming to say this, and with such certainty. Was it because Yang Ming was already prepared, or did he not believe that she would use voodoo? Of course, voodoo was the Miao people's specialty. Xiao Susu only learned a little from ancient books and Chinafu. They were all simple voodoo techniques. But even simple voodoo techniques were effective. If one wasn't a Miao person, it would be difficult to neutralize it. She didn't believe that Yang Ming had the antidote on him. Moreover, Yang Ming had been standing here all this time and didn't use any antidote. There was no doubt about this. Thinking about this, Xiao Susu nodded, okay. Then we'll wait for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, if Captain Yang is safe and sound, then I'll lose this round. If I lose, then I'll take the initiative to withdraw from this mission. When she said this, Xiao Susu's face showed a hint of sadness. She wanted to go, and she had a reason to go, but she had to obey the order. This was what she had to follow as a member of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Chapter 2016. You don't have to withdraw from the mission. You just have to obey the command. Yang Ming was a little impressed with Xiao Susu this time. Moreover, with her, a person who had studied voodoo, it could save some trouble. For Yang Ming, one more person was not much. After all, the purpose of this trip was very clear. It was to deal with Elder Yu. Even Yang Ming himself had no idea, let alone others. So, one more person was considered one more wisdom. Okay. Xiao Susu didn't insist and just nodded. Yang Ming was right. Since Yang Ming's bet was to obey the command, then he asked her to go to Yunnan. If she insisted on withdrawing, it would be a sign of not obeying the command. Xiao Bingbao also looked at Yang Ming very strangely. At this moment, he couldn't see through Yang Ming. After Xiao Susu said voodoo, even Xiao Bingbao, who had always been optimistic about Yang Ming, thought that this time Yang Ming would definitely fail. After all, no matter how good Yang Ming's skills were, it was impossible to guard against this kind of voodoo. However, after Yang Ming listened to Xiao Susu's words, he still looked indifferent. This made Xiao Bingbao a little confused. What is Yang Ming relying on? How can he stand here without any pressure? Is Yang Ming ignorant, or is he confident? Although Xiao Bingbao had some doubts, he didn't speak at the moment. Instead, he quietly looked at Yang Ming and watched the follow-up development of the matter. In Xiao Bingbao's impression, although Yang Ming was strong, he was not a reckless person. In other words, he would not do things that he was not sure of. This time, is Yang Ming still confident? Xia Shui also looked at Yang Ming with some nervousness. She didn't accept Yang Ming, but it didn't mean that others could recklessly challenge Yang Ming. Xiao Susu was a woman like her, so Xia Shui's heart was naturally uncomfortable. If you want to provoke someone, it should be me, Xia Shui, right? Not you, Xiao Susu. Therefore, Xia Shui was also very nervous. As for Lu Yezi, he was not very relaxed. Since he had recognized Yang Ming as his boss, he was naturally Yang Ming's underling. If Yang Ming lost, then he would lose face as his underling, right? However, Lu Yezi and Xiao Susu were acquaintances. He also knew about Xiao Susu's situation. Naturally, he was worried that Yang Ming would fall into Xiao Susu's trap. Thinking of this, Lu Yezi was still a little worried. He looked at Yang Ming with some eagerness. He prayed in his heart that Yang Ming would not lose. On this side, Feng Tianlong's mood was not very good. After all, Xiao Susu could be considered as his girlfriend. He had already stood up for Xiao Susu before, but he was subdued by Yang Ming. Now, Xiao Susu stood up for him again. It was a bit like standing up for him. In this way, if Xiao Susu lost, it would be fine. If Xiao Susu won, then Feng Tianlong's face would not look good. He couldn't even do it. In the end, a woman was stronger than him. What's more, Feng Tianlong still admired Yang Ming, so he didn't want Yang Ming to lose. However, Huang Lele didn't care. In her opinion, Yang Ming was very powerful, and she didn't know anything else. She just felt that Yang Ming would definitely win. Time passed by. In the blink of an eye, 3 minutes had passed, but Yang Ming was still fine. Xiao Susu knew that she was probably going to lose. Because 2 or 3 minutes had passed before the timer, and now another 3 minutes had passed. Logically, 5 minutes should have passed, but Yang Ming didn't show any signs of abdominal pain. This more or less explained the situation. That was, Yang Ming was not poisoned, or rather, he was poisoned, but it was broken by Yang Ming. Finally, 5 minutes had passed, but Yang Ming was still fine. This explained some problems. Comrade Xiao Susu, does this count as my victory? Yang Ming looked at the time on his watch and asked with a smile. Yes, Captain, you won. Xiao Susu nodded, but I want to know, how did you break my voodoo? Speaking of which, I won unfairly because your voodoo has no effect on me. Yang Ming was honest and said the reason directly, not only your voodoo, but the general voodoo is ineffective on me. Unless it is a very powerful voodoo, I can't avoid that kind of voodoo. After Yang Ming was poisoned by Lan Ling's voodoo, his body became immune to poison, and those low-level voodoo were ineffective on Yang Ming. Unless it was a voodoo at the level of Elder Yu, it would have an effect on Yang Ming. Last time, Yun Guangdou and others poisoned Yang Ming with the high-level voodoo given by Elder Yu, so Yang Ming couldn't be spared and almost lost his life. However, Xiao Susu's voodoo was not difficult. It was completely an ordinary low-level voodoo. For Yang Ming, it was just like the usual flu. He was simply immune. Oh. A look of surprise flashed in Xiao Susu's eyes. I didn't expect that this voodoo is ineffective on you. It seems that my loss is not unjustified. That's why I said that I won unfairly. Yang Ming smiled bitterly. A win is a win, and a loss is a loss. How is it an unfair win? It can be said that as long as you can win, the means are secondary. Xiao Susu did not complain. I used my advantage to cast the goo on you, and you also used your advantage to break it. This is strength. Hee, but your move also gave me a warning. I am not afraid of voodoo, but Lu Yezi, Feng Tianlong, and Xia Shui are not. You being by their side is also a kind of compliment. Yang Ming nodded and said. Xiao Susu smiled slightly and said, Thank you, Captain Yang, for the compliment. I will do my duty. Xiao Susu's purpose had been achieved, so she didn't say anything more. She respectfully retreated to her team. Now that it's like this, I am relieved. Yang Ming smiled slightly and said, In the future, we will all be comrades. I hope that everyone will work together for the same goal. Please rest assured, Captain Yang. Almost in unison, all the team members said so. Including Xia Shui, she was also shocked by Yang Ming. Ordinary voodoo is ineffective on him. This Yang Ming is strong enough. Hee, I will be the host tonight. I will treat everyone to a meal. Consider it my sincerity. Everyone can get to know each other. Yang Ming said. I agree. Feng Tianlong was the first to stand up and say. I agree too. Lu Yezi also expressed his support with a bitter face. As Yang Ming's underling, he should be the first to stand up and support Yang Ming. However, Feng Tianlong beat him to it. Naturally, he had some resentment. Chapter 2017. In other words, Lu Yezi was still a little upset. His father was a super awesome person. According to the definition of some online novels, he could be the protagonist. If he wrote a novel such as My Father is a Reborn Person or My Father is a Reborn Person, it would definitely be super popular. However, Lu Yezi's own qualifications were limited, so he was willing to be a green leaf. However, this green leaf was at least the number one green leaf, right? Now that the number one green leaf was snatched by Feng Tianlong, he was naturally a little depressed. Xiao Susu and Xia Shui naturally would not object. Only Xia Bingbao spread his hands helplessly. It seems that I am excluded. But it's okay, fatty. Let's get together tonight. Haha, okay. The fatty quickly agreed. He had no part in the previous matter, so the fatty also maintained his usual style. He didn't say what he shouldn't say, and he didn't ask what he shouldn't ask. He kept silent until Xia Bingbao spoke to him. Only then did he respond with a smile. That's it. At 7:00 in the evening, we will go out for dinner. Now, everyone is busy. We will contact again at 7:00. I will tell everyone my cell phone number. As Yang Ming was about to tell everyone his cell phone number, Xia Bingbao waved his hand and stopped him. Yang Ming, from now on, our mission has begun. It must be absolutely confidential to the outside world. Your cell phone should be replaced. Xia Bingbao said, from now on, please give your cell phone to me for safekeeping. I will give you a new internal confidential cell phone. Only our internal network can call. It can only be called out to the outside world but not in. It will show an empty number to the outside world. No problem. Yang Ming did not hesitate to take out his cell phone and was ready to hand it to Xia Bingbao because Yang Ming also knew that from now on, he had to obey the command. He did not represent himself, but the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. The matters at home had been arranged properly, and Yang Ming didn't need to make any more calls. After hesitating, Yang Ming sent a text message to his friends, lovers, and family to report his safety. Then, he hurriedly turned off the phone and handed it to Xia Bingbao. Brother Xia, here you are. Have you really thought about it? From this moment on, there is no turning back for you. Xia Bingbao took Yang Ming's mobile phone, sighed, and finally asked. After all, Yang Ming was different from other personnel. Everyone else was an official member of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, but Yang Ming was not. Yang Ming was a non-staff member who was forcibly pulled into the team. Therefore, this mission was somewhat unfair to Yang Ming. At this moment, Xia Bingbao also wanted to ask Yang Ming what he really thought. He did not like to be forced. For such a dangerous person, only Yang Ming who was willing to carry it out could achieve results. I have thought about it. Yang Ming smiled faintly. There is no turning back the arrow that has been shot. Since I have come here, I naturally have to do it. That's right. There is no turning back the arrow that has been shot. Xia Bingbao nodded. I am very happy that you can think so. There are many things in life that you have to do even if you can't do them. There are also many things in life that you want to avoid, but you can't avoid them. Yang Ming sighed. This is a matter of responsibility. Since I have this ability, I have to contribute. Good. It seems that I have a good eye for people. I will keep your mobile phone for you. It will be returned to you after your mission. Xiao Bingbao nodded and put away Yang Ming's mobile phone. He also signaled Xiaojing to get another mobile phone. Yang Ming's confidential mobile phone was already prepared. Xiaojing ran out quickly and ran back quickly with a brand new mobile phone in his hand. Captain Yang, this is for you. Xiaojing respectfully handed the mobile phone to Yang Ming. Yang Ming's previous moves also shocked Xiaojing. No wonder Brother Wang was tricked by Yang Ming as soon as he made a move. He is really powerful. Yang Ming smiled slightly and took the mobile phone handed over by Xiaojing. This mobile phone didn't look special from the outside, but it should be the latest technological product of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. It gathered all the high-tech functions. This mobile phone is charged using solar energy. It has a very long standby feature, but it still uses the GSM network, not the satellite network. That is to say, you can only make a call in a place with a signal. Although it is an internet, it also borrows other people's base stations. Xia Bingbao introduced, the satellite phone is relatively large because of the battery. I will also equip you with it before you leave, but you can use this phone at ordinary times. Okay. Yang Ming nodded and fiddled with the mobile phone in his hand. Although it looked simple, it was also inconspicuous. It was like an ordinary counterfeit phone that would not attract any attention. In that case, I won't say much. The special training will begin tomorrow morning. Today's time is everyone's. You can do whatever you want, said Xia Bingbao. After Xia Bingbao finished speaking, he left with Fatty Fong and Xiaojing. Only a few members of the Suicide Squad, Yang Ming, and Huang Lele were left in the lounge. You can do whatever you want. Everyone, you are free to move around. Call me at 7:00. We will decide where to eat. Here, you are the landlord, so you decide where to eat. Once you have decided, tell me. I am here to pay the bill. Yang Ming smiled. No problem, bro. Feng Tianlong had adapted to Yang Ming's identity. He was convinced that Yang Ming was stronger than him. Even though he was the vice captain of the Secret Service team, he was only a member of Yang Ming's team here. Bro, where are you going later? You are not familiar with Yanjing. Do you want me to accompany you? Lu Yezi asked. Alright, I want to walk around with Lele. You lead the way. Yang Ming nodded. Cough cough. Xia Shui coughed twice at this time. What does Yang Ming mean? If you go out with Huang Lele and Lu Yezi, then what am I going to do? Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu are obviously a couple. I can't join in the fun with them. Wouldn't I be a third wheel? And she doesn't want me to go out. How boring is that? So Xia Shui coughed twice, which was a signal to Yang Ming. Xia Shui, come with us. Yang Ming smiled and said, You are now my woman. It is the same as Lele. You naturally have to go shopping later. Chapter 2018. Yang Ming was talking about the bet on the plane. At this time, it avoided the awkwardness between them. After all, Yang Ming did forget about Xia Shui before. This was also because Xia Shui had not really become Yang Ming's woman, so she was ignored by Yang Ming. Who is your woman? Xia Shui couldn't help but frown. She snorted and then said, Then let's go together. I have nothing to do anyway. That's great. Yang Ming smiled slightly and did not explain much. Xia Shui's sentence seemed to be saying that Yang Ming wanted to invite her, and she reluctantly went. However, Xia Shui was a girl, so Yang Ming naturally did not mind. Even Huang Lele was amused by Xia Shui's words. She couldn't help but laugh. The four people went out of the stadium together. In the stadium's underground parking lot, there was Lu Yezi's car. It seemed that Lu Yezi's car was still very high-end. Yang Ming did not expect that Lu Yezi's level also had such a good car. Lu Yezi's car was a modified Land Rover. It was armed to the teeth from the inside out, and all of it was bulletproof. "Bro, sisters-in-law, please get in the car." Lu Yezi opened the door with a smile and said. Huang Lele happily got in the car, but Xia Shui's face was red. She was a little embarrassed. She wanted to explain, but she thought that it was useless to explain, so she did not explain. Huang Lele and Xia Shui sat in the back row, while Yang Ming sat in the front passenger seat. Lu Yezi got in the car and drove out of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau's administrative area and the military administrative area. They came to the road. With Lu Yezi's car, there was no need to register for Huang Lele. Obviously, Lu Yezi's car was also registered here. Although it was a civilian car, there were various passes inserted in the car, and the license plate was also special. The people at the door could recognize it at a glance. They did not hesitate to let it go. Otherwise, not only would the entering vehicle be checked, but the leaving vehicle would also be checked. Who knew if you were a spy who took away some confidential things? The car turned a corner, went on the road, and drove quickly. "Boss, are we going to the mall or to the tourist attractions?" Lu Yezi asked. "What do you two think?" Yang Ming turned his head and looked at Xia Shui and Huang Lele. "I don't mind. It's not the first time I've come to Yanjing." Huang Lele shook her head. As a flight attendant, she had plenty of opportunities to fly around. She was no stranger to places. Moreover, Yanjing was a transit point for many flights. Huang Lele was no stranger to it. Xia Shui was the same. "My hometown was originally here. I come back every year. Sometimes, I have to come here to investigate a case, so I don't mind." Yang Ming smiled slightly. He felt that the words of the two were a little funny, so he turned his head and said to Lu Yezi, "Then you can do whatever you want. Just find a place. It doesn't have to be too good. It just has to be unique." "Alright, boss, there is a night market nearby. It's very popular. In addition to the small soldiers and military families nearby, there are also a few colleges not far away. Students are also frequent customers of the night market. Moreover, there is also an industrial area over there. The workers also often visit the night market. Therefore, the night market here is very comprehensive. It is basically more comprehensive than a supermarket. You can buy everything you want." Lu Yezi introduced. "Oh. Such a good place. Then take us to have a look." Yang Ming was also interested when he heard Lu Yezi say this. As girls, Xia Shui and Huang Lele were naturally interested in shopping. When they heard that there was a night market, they naturally would not refuse. They both agreed and wanted to go to the night market. "It's not the first time I've been here, but I don't know that there is a night market here." Xia Shui was a little surprised. "Lu Yezi, you are not simple. You can even find a night market." "Sister Xia, what are you talking about? You coming here to visit Captain Xia and I living here. How can it be the same concept?" Lu Yezi said helplessly, "I live here, so I have to consider the purchase of some daily necessities. Although the team also distributes them, I still have to buy some of my own things, right? You don't need to buy these things when you come to visit, so it is normal that you don't know about the night market." "What you said makes sense." Xia Shui nodded and did not pester him. "Then let's go." What are you waiting for? I can't wait. When Xia Shui was in the police station, there were very few days off. Even if there were, it was because she took the initiative to work overtime or attend work, so there was no chance to go shopping. Moreover, Xia Shui wore the police uniform every day. She had no chance to wear some other beautiful clothes. Over time, she did not go shopping. However, not going shopping and not wearing these beautiful clothes did not mean that Xia Shui did not like them. Everyone has a heart of beauty, let alone a beauty like Xia Shui. For example, Xia Shui was also wearing a bright summer dress today. It was very refreshing and beautiful, but Xia Shui did not have the chance to wear it before. Today was the day when Xia Shui officially ended her work in the police station. She was about to embark on a journey, but before embarking on the journey, Xia Shui still wanted to relax. She wanted to go to the night market and enjoy the rights of an ordinary girl. It was also a reward before the mission. Therefore, Xia Shui seemed to be a little impatient. Xia Shui's expression naturally fell into Yang Ming's eyes. At the same time, he also guessed Xia Shui's thoughts. In retrospect, he had known Xia Shui for more than a year. Xia Shui went from a little girl who just joined the police force to the current deputy bureau chief and criminal investigation team captain. Although she had her background in Yang Ming's help, this was also inseparable from Xia Shui's own efforts. Xia Shui's entire energy was almost devoted to her work. With Xia Shui's identity and background, she could easily muddle along. He believed that with Xia Bingbao's help, no one would find trouble with Xia Shui. Xia Shui could also go to a leisurely department and sit in the office every day. She did not have to worry about anything. She could go shopping after work and go to parties with friends on weekends. However, Xia Shui did not. She chose an unusual path. She was a strong girl. From the beginning of her work, she had set a goal for herself. If she wanted to do something, she would do her best. This was also the reason why she confided to Yang Ming after she first met Yang Ming. Yang Ming was also moved by Xia Shui's attitude. He took the initiative to help Xia Shui solve several big cases in a row and put all the credit on Xia Shui's head. However, Xia Shui's ability was still good. Yang Ming was also tempted after the joke on the plane. Chapter 2019. If Xia Shui became his woman, then she would have to resign from all her jobs in Songjiang City. When he retired, Xia Shui must also go to X Island with him. However, at that time, Yang Ming could arrange another position for Xia Shui. X Island also needed a security management department. General Kars currently implemented military control, but with the construction and development of X Island, the army was only a weapon to maintain the peace of the island. The daily security still needed to be managed by another department. Xia Shui could be the person in charge of this department. This was Yang Ming's plan. Everyone had their own role. Arranging them in a reasonable position was Yang Ming's ultimate goal. On the top floor of the residential building in Songjiang City, Wang Yukai and the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, were staying. After the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, received a phone call, his face became extremely gloomy. "What's wrong?" "Falcon, what happened?" asked Wang Yukai. "I really didn't expect that Yang Ming was alert enough. He discovered the spy I arranged. Before he could shoot, he was dealt with by Yang Ming." The behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon's face was very ugly. So many years of hard work were destroyed in this moment. They were actually removed when they were just used. "What happened?" "Falcon, what are you talking about?" Huang Yukai didn't understand Falcon's words. "I planted a spy in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, but this spy was removed by Yang Ming." The behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon explained, "This time, the person Xia Bingbao arranged to meet Yang Ming at the airport was an undercover agent I planted in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. The reason why I knew so much about Yang Ming going to Yunnan to perform a mission, in addition to the contact with Elder Yu, was mostly from the undercover agent inside the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Oh. This undercover agent was discovered by Yang Ming. Huang Yukai was a little surprised by Yang Ming's power. He was also surprised by the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon's ability. He could actually plant a spy in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. This was not something that ordinary people could do. That's right. He was discovered by Yang Ming. The behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, sighed and said, "Originally, I thought this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The people of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau could enter the venue with guns. I was going to let this person shoot Huang Lele when they went to meet Yang Ming after he got off the plane." "Oh. Did he shoot her?" Huang Yukai asked calmly. Although he already knew that Huang Lele was fine, he still cooperated. Asked. "No. In such an emergency situation, Yang Ming may not be able to save her in this situation," said the behind-the-scenes boss, but in the end it failed. It seems that this Yang Ming is still very powerful. Huang Yukai nodded and sighed. "Yeah. Originally, I thought that this person would not shoot Yang Ming directly because I was afraid that Yang Ming would be able to defend in the shortest time possible. So, I still chose Huang Lele because Huang Lele is not Yang Ming himself. But, it still failed." The behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, said helplessly, "If I knew this would happen, I wouldn't have used this spy. This way, I could have grasped more information about Yang Ming. But now, I am in the dark." In fact, Yang Ming had thought that the person behind the scenes who wanted to deal with Huang Lele would be a bit stupid to use Brother Wang at this time. However, Yang Ming had overlooked an important point. That was, this spy was absolutely impossible for Yang Ming, but what about for a person who couldn't see through things? If Yang Ming didn't have the special ability to see through things and just happened to see the moment Brother Wang pulled out the gun, then when this person successfully pulled out the gun, wouldn't it be too late for Yang Ming to take countermeasures? Although Yang Ming had the confidence to avoid the gunshot, what about Huang Lele? At that time, Yang Ming probably couldn't even take care of himself, so he didn't have the energy to protect Huang Lele. If he insisted on protecting her, Yang Ming was bound to be injured. Therefore, this was also the reason why the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, used the spy at this time. However, he didn't expect that Yang Ming could see through things and saw Brother Wang's action of pulling out the gun in advance. Who could be blamed for this? It could only be blamed on Brother Wang's bad luck to encounter a monster like Yang Ming. If it were another opponent, he might have already succeeded. After he succeeded, it didn't matter even if he died because his role was to injure or kill Huang Lele. This was also the reason why the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, used this spy. In his opinion, the possibility of winning by using the spy this time was very high, but he ignored the accident of Yang Ming. "Then what should we do next?" Huang Yukai said faintly, "You know Yang Ming's skill. I don't think those snipers can do anything." This time, the airport had such good conditions, but they didn't succeed. "I don't expect anything else. All of this is your stupid subordinate's fault. He actually used something called Uran Express. Until now, the goods have not arrived. That AO-san is still sending the goods. Does he send one for a year? Don't mention the past again. This is not my intention. Things have already happened. It is meaningless to complain again." The behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, said, "What we can do now is to find ways to remedy it instead of blaming someone's mistake." That being said, I'm not optimistic about your follow-up sniper plan at all. Tell me, what are you going to do next? Huang Yukai snorted and asked faintly. I'm going to send another sniper to test it out. If it still doesn't work, then I have no other choice. I can only apologize to Elder Yu. I have a limited number of people on hand. I can't waste them endlessly, said the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon. That is also true. We still have to leave some of our own strength. Huang Yukai said, let's test it. If it doesn't work, then forget it. And I will make a call to arrange it. After the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, finished speaking, he turned and went into his room. He took out his phone and dialed a phone number. Huang Yukai watched the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, enter the room and lock the door. He also pushed his wheelchair back to his room, picked up his phone, and quickly dialed a number. However, there was a beep that the phone was turned off. Chapter 2020. Huang Yukai frowned and hung up the phone. He dialed again, but the phone was still turned off. Huang Yukai hung up the phone helplessly and sighed slightly. On the other side, the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, dialed the phone of his sister, Alice. Brother. Alice picked up the phone immediately, and her voice was a little nervous. Brother, how is your matter going over there? The nail in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau was removed by Yang Ming. Unfortunately, he didn't hurt Yang Ming's woman. If I had known, I wouldn't have used him. He could be considered as an informant. The behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, sighed and said. AI. Alice sighed. This person entered the Supernatural Investigation Bureau and spent a lot of my resources and connections. It was ruined just like that. I'm sorry, little sister. The behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, also sighed. This is also what I don't want to see. Brother, why are you apologizing to me? Aren't my resources all yours? Alice shook her head. But, brother, I still have to advise you to stop. Don't go against Yang Ming. If you continue to go against him, I'm really worried about you. Are you worried about me, or are you worried about that Yang Ming? The behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, snorted. How can I stop? If it weren't for Yang Ming, my plan would have succeeded. It's just that his appearance hindered my steps. Your plan. Isn't it Dr. Benjamin's plan? Why do you still work for him? Brother, when will it end? I don't want to live like this anymore. I'm also an ordinary girl. Although my current life is enviable, I'm not myself. I'm very unhappy. Alice's voice sounded very agitated. How good would it be for us to retire together? Little sister, you don't understand. You don't understand how powerful Central is. If we leave Central, will Central let us go? No. The behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, smiled bitterly. You don't know how powerful Dr. Benjamin is. The non-human steel men he studied are invincible and invincible. As far as I know, several of his iron men were killed, right? Since they can be killed, it proves that the Central is not a monolithic unit. There are still people who are more powerful than them. Alice said. Little sister, you're right. The center is indeed not the most powerful. There are indeed more powerful existences. A few of the steel men in the center have been killed, but can those more powerful people protect us? He's not afraid of Dr. Benjamin's man of steel, but we can't. Said the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon. Forget it, I won't say much. Brother, why did you call? Alice knew that she couldn't win against her brother, but she also knew that her brother was telling the truth. At the very least, before they had absolute confidence in resisting the revenge of the Central, Alice and her brother couldn't easily leave the Central. That was undoubtedly equivalent to courting death. Do you have a sniper in Beijing? Arrange one for me to snipe the women around Yang Ming, said the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon. Huang Lele. Alice asked. Yes, said the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon. Well, I'll help you again, but if it doesn't succeed, I won't help you anymore. Brother, you know that my forces are in Europe. There are very few in China, said Alice. I understand. The behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, nodded. Someone will contact you in a while, but I'm not optimistic because Yang Ming's skill and vigilance are not something you can underestimate. I've been in contact with him, so I know, said Alice. Alice, are you in love with Yang Ming? The behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, suddenly asked. Why do you say that? Alice was slightly surprised, but she didn't show it on her face as she asked. If not, why do you want to boost the morale of others and destroy your own? Asked the behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon. I'm telling the truth. Alice said, the removal of the nail in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau also proves this point. Well, little sister, you remember, as a member of the organization, you can't have feelings, otherwise, it will delay the important matters. The behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, reminded her. I know. After Alice finished speaking, she hung up the phone. The behind-the-scenes boss, Falcon, looked at the hung-up phone in his hand and sighed slightly. However, he still shook his head and waited for the sniper to contact him. Lu Yezi's car drove to the night market. There was an open-air open space near the night market, which was a temporary parking lot. Many people who came to the night market to sell and buy things had cars, but they could not drive in the night market. They could only park their cars in the open space nearby. Although it was a night market, the stalls here started at noon and would not wait until night. The so-called night market was called because this market would be open until the second half of the night, so it was called a night market. Let's get out of the car. Lu Yezi parked the car and said to Yang Ming in the front passenger seat. And let's get out of the car. Yang Ming nodded and got out of the car with Huang Lele and Xia Shui. It's so lively here. Xia Shui was a little surprised. She didn't expect a night market to be so lively and large-scale. At a glance from the entrance of the night market, it was simply endless. She didn't know how long this market was. Now it seemed that it was possible to sell everything because this night market was really too big. Yeah, it's so lively. It's my first time seeing such a big night market. Huang Lele also nodded. Lu Yezi led the way in front, and Yang Ming, Xia Shui, and Huang Lele followed him into the night market. Bro, are you hungry? There is a wonton noodle shop not far from here. It's very delicious. I often come here to eat. Generally, when I go to the night market, I will eat a bowl first. That way, I will have the strength to continue walking. Lu Yezi pointed to a place not far away and introduced. Fortunately, I'm not very hungry. How about you? Yang Ming turned to look at Huang Lele and Xia Shui. We will be eating in a while. Do you still want to eat now? Yang Ming, why aren't you hungry? I haven't eaten anything all day. Except for a little fast food on the plane, Lele and I have been hungry until now. You are not hungry, but we are. Xia Shui complained, just because you are not hungry doesn't mean that we are not hungry. Besides, we will eat at 7:00 in a while. It is only 3:00 in the afternoon. There are still 4 hours. I am starving. Hee, that's good. Let's eat something together first. Yang Ming was a person who had undergone strict training, so he didn't seem to be hungry at this time. He could reasonably control his physical strength to maintain a peak state, but Xia Shui and Huang Lele couldn't. They had been on the plane for so long. They must be very hungry, so Yang Ming nodded and agreed to Xia Shui's proposal. Chapter 2021. Let's go. I will take everyone to eat the delicious wonton noodles, Lu Yezi said with a smile. Lu Yezi led the way in front, and Yang Ming and the others followed behind. After a while, they came to a wonton noodle stall. Lu Yezi said to the boss with familiarity, "Boss, give me 4 bowls of wonton noodles." "Oh. Little Lu is here. These are your friends, right? They will be here soon." The boss was obviously very familiar with Lu Yezi. When he saw Lu Yezi coming, he greeted him enthusiastically. "And my boss came from another place. I invited him here," Lu Yezi said with a smile. The boss didn't know Lu Yezi's identity because the people of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau didn't wear uniforms. Although they had military uniforms, the people of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau wouldn't wear uniforms every day for confidentiality, unless there was a special meeting or something. "Okay, I will be here soon," the boss said enthusiastically. The 4 people found a clean table and sat down to wait. Not far from the wonton noodle stall, there was a fortune-telling stall. There were many people there, but Yang Ming saw a strange phenomenon. There were many fortune-tellers, but the fee was very little. When others were fortune-tellers, they would say a few words to arouse the curiosity of the customers, then they would start to cover it up. They would only continue when they got the money. However, this fortune-teller said it directly and didn't talk about money. If you were willing to pay, then pay. If you were unwilling to pay, then don't pay. He didn't care. He looked indifferent. This fortune-teller is quite interesting. Yang Ming glanced and said, "N. You mean him?" Lu Yezi glanced at the fortune-teller and then said to Yang Ming, "You mean Mr. Mo. He is a very powerful person. He is very famous in the market." "Oh. Is he really accurate?" Yang Ming was not very interested in fortune-tellers. After all, Yang Ming's fate was in his own hands in many cases. His rise was also related to cause and effect. Therefore, Yang Ming did not believe in fate. Most of the time, taking a step forward and taking a step back were completely different, so Yang Ming didn't really believe in fate. However, Lu Yezi spoke seriously. Moreover, this old man's fortune-telling method made Yang Ming feel somewhat curious. Generally, many fortune-tellers, great immortals, and the like were all scammers. Their fame was also bragged. The only purpose of fortune-telling was to make money. Of course, it did not rule out the existence of some extraordinary people. However, fortune-tellers whose main purpose was to earn money and make money were mostly scammers. Since his predictions were so accurate, why did he need to read other people's fortunes? Just by calculating the lottery numbers and stock market trends, he would have become rich long ago. Why would he need to read other people's fortunes? However, it was the first time Yang Ming had seen someone like this old man who didn't want money for his fortune-telling. It was up to him to give or not. It didn't matter how much he gave or how little he gave. Yang Ming had already seen several young people in ordinary clothes stop there and ask the old man some things. However, most of them thanked him afterward. They rarely gave money. These people were workers or students in nearby factories. They didn't have much money in their pockets. They usually had to save on food and clothing. They definitely couldn't afford to pay for fortune-telling. However, the old man didn't complain. He was still there enthusiastically reading the fortunes of these people. In this situation, only 2 possibilities were explained. One was that this old man was not short of money. He was completely saving the world and helping people. He was really a kind person. Another possibility was that this old man had nothing to do. He was bored at home, so he came out to play. However, no matter what he was, it had little to do with Yang Ming. Yang Ming was just asking casually. It's really accurate. Lu Yezi hesitated and nodded. Our Supernatural Investigation Bureau also deals with a lot of strange people. So this kind of thing that can't be explained by science doesn't necessarily mean that it's not science. Oh. Yang Ming listened to Lu Yezi's words and smiled. Have you looked for him for fortune-telling? No, but Xiao Susu looked for him for fortune-telling. This old man is very powerful. He saw Xiao Susu's fate at a glance. Lu Yezi sighed. Xiao Susu's fate. Lu Yezi's words aroused Yang Ming's curiosity. What fate does Xiao Susu have? There's a curse in Xiao Susu's family. Girls can't live past 20 years old. She's quite pitiful. Her mother passed away when she was very young. Lu Yezi sighed. Xiao Susu's mother is also a member of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Her original intention of joining the Supernatural Investigation Bureau was to crack the curse from her family, but she left before she could figure it out. Susu grew up in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau since she was young. She and Feng Tianlong were childhood sweethearts. Because of her own reasons, she repeatedly refused Feng Tianlong's pursuit because she didn't want to implicate him. Oh. Xiao Susu has such a miserable life. Yang Ming was stunned. He never thought that his own team members would have such a miserable fate. They could not live past 20 years old. Xiao Susu now looked like she was almost 18 years old. Wouldn't that mean that she did not have much longer to live? This is not a secret within our Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Everyone knows about it. Lu Yezi said. But Feng Tianlong is also a love-struck person. Even if he knew about Xiao Susu's situation, he was still willing to protect her. Yang Ming suddenly realized why Feng Tianlong was so emotional to protect Xiao Susu when he did not let her go to Yunnan. Yes, this trip to Yunnan was a dead end in the eyes of outsiders. Once Feng Tianlong went, no one knew when he would come back. Xiao Susu's own reasons also determined that she could not live for long. If she died in Yunnan with him, it would be a relief. Perhaps when they reached Yunnan and entered a dead end, it was unknown whether Xiao Susu would accept Feng Tianlong. Therefore, no matter what, Feng Tianlong would let Xiao Susu go to Yunnan with him. That was why he was so emotional before. But after he was convinced, he became silent again. Obviously, he was a real man. Although he did not want to give up for love, he chose to give up for the orders of his superior. It could be seen that this person was passionate and persistent about his work. This was a good person and an upright person. If possible, Yang Ming wanted to have a closer relationship with Feng Tianlong and deepen their friendship. Although I sympathize with Xiao Susu, these things are not for me to worry about. Her life is not in my hands. I can only silently bless her. Yang Ming sighed. But what does this have to do with the fortune teller? Chapter 2022. It's related. It's like this. Lu Yezi slowly told the whole story. A few days ago, after Yang Ming received the news from Xia Bingbao that he was going to Yunnan, Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu were also confirmed as members of the death squad. At this time, Xiao Susu and Feng Tianlong's relationship had also improved a lot. Maybe it was because Xiao Susu understood Feng Tianlong's intentions. She also knew why Feng Tianlong wanted to go to Yunnan with her. This mission was very dangerous. Xiao Susu knew clearly that this time, there was a 90% chance of survival. In this case, Xiao Susu's heart gradually opened up. She loved Feng Tianlong in her heart, but she was afraid that her fate would implicate Feng Tianlong and cause harm to Feng Tianlong, so she had always rejected Feng Tianlong's pursuit. But now, Feng Tianlong had already given so much, Xiao Susu naturally wouldn't reject him like before. The two of them were about to leave for Yunnan. There was a high chance of survival, and whether they could even make it back was a problem. Xiao Susu's fate didn't seem important anymore. So, Xiao Susu agreed to Feng Tianlong's first date. The location of the two of them was this night market. As a member of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, they couldn't go too far before going to Yunnan. They could only come to this night market. In the night market, the two of them also ate wonton noodles here after Lu Yezi's recommendation. Xiao Susu also saw the old fortune teller. Just like Yang Ming, she was a little curious. Girls were still somewhat interested in fortune telling, so she walked towards the old fortune teller with a tentative attitude. After all, this old man's reputation was very big in the market. Xiao Susu had heard of him before. Seeing him today, she wanted to see for herself. But she didn't expect that old man Mo's first sentence would make Xiao Susu's eyes widen. There are still 2 years. Old man Mo glanced at Xiao Susu and said faintly. The old man's words made Xiao Susu stunned, but then she thought of her own life. She was 18 years old this year. Didn't that mean she would be 20 years old in 2 years? The women in her family couldn't live past 20 years old. This was a curse that had never been broken. At this time, this old man Mo suddenly said this sentence. What did he mean? Was it a coincidence, or did this old man Mo really see something? However, Xiao Susu still asked calmly, what do you mean by 2 years? You. Old man Mo calmly said, you still have 2 years. If it was before, Xiao Susu still had her doubts. However, after hearing old man Mo's words, she completely believed the rumors. This old man Mo actually saw through Xiao Susu's fate with a single glance. While Xiao Susu was shocked, Feng Tianlong quickly asked, Sir, is there a way to break it? Everyone's fate is determined from the moment they are born. I know how to read fortunes, but I don't know how to defy the heavens and change fate. Old man Mo calmly shook his head, Miss, your fate has already been determined. This Mo is powerless to do anything. This. Feng Tianlong's expression darkened after hearing old man Mo's words. He originally thought that since old man Mo was so powerful to be able to see through Xiao Susu's fate, he should have a way to break it. However, he didn't expect old man Mo to directly say this. This also proved that the rumors were true. Old man Mo's fortune-telling was very accurate, but he didn't care about profits. If it was a normal swindler, even if they couldn't break the curse, they would say something to get the money first. Just like those sorcerers who helped Fan Jinja break the curse, they would get the money first. As for whether they could break the curse or not, that was another matter altogether. However, this old man Mo was different. If he couldn't, then he couldn't. The family's curse really can't be broken. Xiao Susu's expression darkened after hearing old man Mo's words, Thank you very much, not true. Old man Mo calmly said again. Not true. Do you have a way to break it? Xiao Susu and Feng Tianlong's hearts were filled with hope after hearing old man Mo's words. What I'm talking about is the family's curse that you said. The curse can't be broken. Old man Mo said. Didn't you say that my fate is already set and can't be changed? Xiao Susu looked at old man Mo strangely. Of course your fate can't be changed. A person's fate is set at birth, but an unborn person isn't. That's why you said that your family's curse can't be broken. Old man Mo calmly said. Old man Mo's words stunned Xiao Susu and Feng Tianlong. What did old man Mo mean? An unborn person isn't part of the curse. Did he want Xiao Susu to be reborn? Although Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu were both from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau and had come into contact with many mysterious matters, rebirth wasn't something that could be done so easily. Xiao Susu was the only one left in Xiao Susu's family. How could it be changed? Suddenly, Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu looked at each other. They weren't stupid and immediately understood the meaning behind Old Man Mo's words. An unborn person can't change their fate, but an unborn person can. Didn't that mean Xiao Susu's child? Wouldn't Xiao Susu's daughter be part of Xiao Susu's family? Thinking up to this point, Feng Tianlong's eyes burned with passion. Xiao Susu had always rejected Feng Tianlong. One reason was because of herself, the other was because she was afraid that if she had a child with Feng Tianlong, the family curse would be a form of pain for her child. It was fine if she was like that, but if her child was like that too, wouldn't that be suffering? Thinking up to this point, Xiao Susu even wanted to let the family curse end in her generation. However, Old Man Mo's words filled her with hope again. Old man, you're talking about my child. Xiao Susu looked at Old Man Mo emotionally. Old Man Mo slowly nodded. If you do as I say, it's possible to break your family's curse. Please enlighten me. Xiao Susu didn't dare to delay and quickly listened. In the near future, you will be going out. Let nature take its course. When you go there, there will naturally be opportunities. When that time comes, breaking the curse, who knows? Old Man Mo said faintly. Ah. Xiao Susu believed Old Man Mo's words even more now. Going out on missions was definitely a secret, but Old Man Mo knew about it. Obviously, it wasn't revealed by others, but by his own calculations. What you're saying is that my child can break the curse in the future? Feng Tianlong asked anxiously. At this time, he played a little trick and asked about his child, not Susu's child. Chapter 2023. Xiao Susu hadn't accepted him yet, but Feng Tianlong asked because he wanted to see if Xiao Susu's child was his or not. Old Man Mo smiled as if he could see through Feng Tianlong's thoughts. Yes, but don't try to change her fate. It's useless. Hearing Old Man Mo's words, Feng Tianlong was happy and sad at the same time. He was happy because he and Xiao Susu finally got married, and even had a fruit of love. This was something worth celebrating. But he was sad because Xiao Susu's fate couldn't be changed. Thank you, mister. Can you be more specific? How can my child change her fate and escape from her fate? Xiao Susu asked impatiently. The future has its own cause and effect. This cause was brought about by your trip. As for the effect, we will only know in the future. The person who will change your child's fate has yet to appear, so how can I predict something so far in the future? Old Man Mo smiled faintly. Is that so? Xiao Susu was a bit disappointed, but even so, she was still confident. At least her child could be saved. Mister, there's one last thing I need to trouble you with. Since my child's fate can be changed, please help me give him a name. That way, he can live according to your design. Feng Tianlong begged. My surname is Feng. Xiao Susu glared at Feng Tianlong. She hadn't even agreed to marry him, and he was already thinking of a name for his child. What kind of person was this? However, Xiao Susu originally wanted to agree to Feng Tianlong's request for this mission, but after experiencing this, Xiao Susu was even more determined to be with Feng Tianlong. I know your surname is Feng. Old Man Mo replied calmly. How about this, let's name it Xiao. It's a homophone to your wife's surname. This name also has the meaning of happiness and happiness. This time, it seemed that old Mo wasn't lying. He knew that Feng Tianlong's surname was Feng, so he didn't just say it casually. He also knew that Xiao Susu's surname was Xiao, so he gave her a homophone. Feng Xiao. Feng Xiao Xiao. Tianlong repeated the name and felt that Feng Xiao Xiao was a bit of a mouthful, so he added the word Xiao, making it an overlapping Feng Xiao Xiao. It was a nice name, Feng Xiao Xiao, happy and happy for life. Thank you for your guidance, Mr. Feng Tianlong said seriously. Go, that's all I have to say. Who knows what will happen in the future? Old Emo waved his hand and smiled. The above is the matter between Feng Tianlong, Xiao Susu, and Old Man Mo Lu Yezi told the whole story to Yang Ming, which made Yang Ming secretly surprised. This matter was too strange. This old Mo wasn't a simple person. Huang Lele and Xia Shui, who were at the side, were also listening attentively. While they were sighing for Xiao Susu's tragic fate, they were also happy for her. While they were talking, 4 bowls of steaming hot wonton noodles were brought up. Although the boss's stall was a roadside stall in open air, it was very clean. The cooking utensils were all in front of them. At a glance, it gave people a very comfortable feeling of transparency. Xia Shui and Huang Lele couldn't find anything wrong with it. The fragrant wonton noodles were filled with chopped green onions and chili powder. It was very tempting, and it made people want to eat. Boss, before we eat, don't you want to say something? Lu Yezi asked with a smile. You brat, what's there to say after eating this? Besides, you've said so much before. Can't these wonton noodles shut your mouth up? Hurry up and eat. Yang Ming laughed and glared at Lu Yezi. Hee hee. Lu Yezi grinned. He picked up his chopsticks and started to stuff the wonton noodles into his mouth. However, the taste of this shop's wonton noodles was really good. A food stall always had its benefits. Although Yang Ming now had hundreds of billions of assets, his habits in life hadn't changed much. This was also a manifestation of a normal heart. If he was like many people who got rich overnight, he would really be a nouveau riche if he didn't go to a place that wasn't high-end. This also showed the tenacity of Yang Ming's heart. This was also a normal heart that an assassin must have. You must always maintain a normal heart so that you can do great things. The taste of this wonton noodle shop is really good. Yang Ming also praised. Yeah, boss. Don't look at the bad conditions here. Captain Xia often comes here. Lu Yezi said proudly, I found this place. After my recommendation, almost everyone in our investigation bureau has become a guest here. After a bowl of wonton noodles, it made them feel a lot more energetic. They also had the strength to continue shopping. However, just as Yang Ming was about to pay the bill, a few people who looked like punks came over. They glanced at the boss of the wonton noodles and said, Take out this month's money. Yang Ming suddenly frowned. He didn't expect to meet these punks who bullied the market here. Yang Ming looked down on this kind of people who bullied the weak and feared the strong. Although Yang Ming was also a punk, Yang Ming had never bullied such a weak person. The boss of this wonton noodles, and even the peddlers in the entire night market were working hard to earn money with their own hands. They didn't steal or rob. It was completely the income of labor. If they robbed these people's money, wouldn't these punks be embarrassed? Yang Ming's character was like this. No matter what position he was in, he was also this kind of chivalrous warm-hearted. Otherwise, when the old man who set up the stall at the school gate was bullied, Yang Ming wouldn't have stood up for him. When Feng Tian was in trouble in the detention center, Yang Ming wouldn't have taught that green-haired guy a lesson. Now, Yang Ming was also on the verge of exploding. Boss, calm down. Every place has its own rules. It's not something we can stop. Lu Yezi sighed and persuaded Yang Ming. This leader of the punks is called Big Tooth. Big Tooth is the son of the manager of the market management office. He received the money under the instructions of his father. If these merchants want to set up a stall in the night market, they can only grit their teeth and accept it. If they don't pay, the market management office will come and find trouble with various reasons the next day. These people have small businesses, so they can't afford to be troubled. Sure enough, the boss of the wonton noodles just smiled bitterly. He took out 300 yuan from his pocket and gave it to Big Tooth. Chapter 2024. Big Broker took the money and nodded with satisfaction. Good performance. This position will still belong to you next year. Thank you. The owner of the wonton noodles shop quickly said. Don't underestimate the role of Big Broker. After he went back, as long as he told his old man the list of disobedient merchants, not only would his old man come to find trouble, after the expiration of the stall, he would also arrange for him to be in a bad position the next year. A good position and a fixed position were very important for these merchants. Even good wine was afraid of deep alleys, not to mention that once the place was moved, those regular customers might not be able to find it, and the business would naturally be affected. After listening to Lu Yezi's words, Yang Ming took a deep breath and secretly endured it. In fact, Yang Ming also knew that even if he took care of these people, after he left, they would still be so arrogant, unless they were caught. But after they were caught, if a new manager was sent to this market, it might be a Big Moon or Big Sun or something like that, and they would even more severely exploit these merchants. The higher-ups of this market were private enterprises. Yang Ming naturally couldn't control their thoughts, unless they were bought over. Now it seemed that these managers didn't have any profit to make, so they privately let Big Broker collect the fees. After Big Broker received the money, he walked towards the fortune-telling old man Mo. Old man Mo, I say, you old man are quite good, aren't you? You don't even pay the management fee. You just occupy a place and start business. Do you really not put our brother Broker in your eyes? The person who spoke was nicknamed Brother Lu Zi, and he was Brother Broker's #1 fighter. At this moment, he was hugging a little girl, smoking a cigarette, and fiercely staring at old man Mo. That's right, old man. Brother Lu Zi kindly reminded you to prepare some money this month. Are you ready? The little girl in Brother Lu Zi's arms also chimed in. Old man Mo raised his head and looked at the few hooligans in front of him, and slightly sighed. What are you looking at? Look at your hammer. Motherfucker, is my girl for you to look at? Brother Lu Zi saw that old man Mo actually dared to look at the little girl in his embrace, and immediately became angry. Old pervert, are you looking for death? Brother Lu Zi, calm down. Brother Broker hasn't said anything yet, right? Why are you in such a hurry? This old thing may have prepared a big gift for us. The one who spoke was another of Yazi's thugs, nicknamed Big Pit Bro. Old man, Big Broker, I'm a man of my word in the market. When I do things, I always give people a way out. Last time, I already told you that if you pay up, you can continue to stay here. If you don't, then get the hell out of here. Since you want to continue to stay here, are you going to pay up? At this time, Big Broker spoke. Young man, this old man is only setting up a stall here to give guidance to the people of the world. I'm not setting up a stall to make money. As long as I don't starve to death, I'm satisfied. My stall here does not conflict with you, so why are you looking for trouble with this old man? Old man Mo sighed. Fuck. Guide the Lost Sutra. Do you think it's Zhuge Liang or Lu Bowen? Pointing out the right path. This old man will give you some guidance first. Saying that, Big Broker kicked old man Mo's fortune-telling signboard away and sneered, Old thing, don't refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. I've already given you a chance, but you don't cherish it. Who do you think you are? Just one sentence, if you want to set up a stall, then pay up. Otherwise, get lost from this old man's sight. The human heart is not what it used to be. Old man Mo shook his head and began to clean up the stall. However, looking at Big Broker, he said, before you leave, I'll give you a divination. In the future, your left eye will be green and red, which is a sign of blood. I'm afraid there will be a disaster of blood. Old thing, what did you say? You dare to curse this old man? Hearing Old Man Mo's words, Big Broker flew into a rage. However, before he could finish his words, a slap landed on his face, causing him to see stars. It was exactly what Old Man Mo said. His left eye was green and red, and there will be a disaster of blood. Even the people in the market management office did not say anything, so who do you think you are? Bullying an old man, what kind of ability do you have? Yang Ming finally could not hold it in any longer. He stood up and gave Big Broker a tight slap. Big Broker frowned and looked at Yang Ming in horror. He was not sure what Yang Ming was going to do. After all, whether it was the people who set up stalls in the market or the customers who often came to buy things, they all knew of Big Broker's reputation. Now that Yang Ming had given him a tight slap, Big Broker was naturally at a loss for what to do. However, Big Broker was immediately enraged. When had he ever suffered such a loss? Kid, what are you doing? You want to be a good Samaritan? But let me tell you, don't be a good Samaritan and get yourself into trouble. There are deep waters here. Big King Bro pointed at Yang Ming and shouted angrily. That's right, kid, I'll give you a chance now. Leave 10,000 yuan to Big Broker, then apologize to Big Broker, and this matter will be settled. Otherwise, you will be in big trouble. Brother Lu Zi also pointed at Yang Ming and shouted angrily. Yang Ming looked at these people talking one after another. He was not angry but laughed. However, since Yang Ming had already taken care of this matter, he would definitely not give up. However, simply taking action was the choice of the previous Yang Ming. Now, Yang Ming was not easily angered. Yang Ming glanced at Lu Yezi and said faintly, "Make a call and arrest these people. Extortion and blackmail are enough to sentence them." After Big Broker heard Yang Ming's words, his face suddenly changed, but he said, "You are quite nosy, aren't you? What does this have to do with you? Look at you. Extortion and blackmail. I am charging a normal fee. Do you know who my father is?" Yang Ming did not say much, but Lu Yezi firmly carried out Yang Ming's order. When Yang Ming asked him to make a call, he immediately dialed the phone number of the nearby police station. As a member of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, Lu Yezi naturally had contact with the police officers in this area. After all, the situation in this area was very complicated. There was a military administrative area, and the Supernatural Investigation Bureau was also a very important special department. The police here naturally knew about it. After receiving a call from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, the local police did not dare to neglect. It was definitely not a small matter that could alarm the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Therefore, the local police dispatched 4 or 5 police cars and came to the market at lightning speed. However, after seeing Lu Yezi, the local police were somewhat inexplicable when they heard that it was just a few punks who were arrested. What kind of people are these punks? They actually let the Supernatural Investigation Bureau investigate. Chapter 2025. After Lu Yezi told them to interrogate them properly, he didn't say anything else. The police felt a little strange. Could it be that there was something else going on with these little hooligans? They didn't dare to be negligent and immediately brought them back to the police station to prepare for a surprise interrogation. As a result, Di Yitzi and his gang were unlucky. Originally, these people didn't do things cleanly. With conclusive evidence, they would face the disaster of being imprisoned. Of course, at this time, Di Yitzi and his gang still didn't know what they had done. They were still shouting, "My dad is in charge of the market management. What's wrong with me helping him collect the management fee? Why are you arresting me?" In Yang Ming's eyes, these people were just small characters. Yang Ming didn't put them in his eyes. Yang Ming didn't pay attention to this group of people anymore. Instead, he turned his head to look at Old Man Mo, who was a fortune teller. Old Man Mo, since you have this ability, you don't have to make a living here. Find a safer place in the future. Don't come here again. Yang Ming glanced at Old Man Mo and said lightly. Naturally, I won't come again in the future. My purpose has been achieved. Old Man Mo said lightly. Your purpose has been achieved. Yang Ming was slightly stunned. He was somewhat baffled. I am here to wait for a person. Now that I have seen this person, I naturally won't continue to stay here. Old Man Mo said. What do you mean? Who are you waiting for? Yang Ming was a little confused. This Old Man Mo's words were full of wit. Who knew what he was talking about? The person I am waiting for is you. Old Man Mo looked at Yang Ming, still with a calm expression. The person you are waiting for is me. Yang Ming was stunned and felt a little incredulous. Why are you waiting for me? Do you know me? I don't know, but you are the fated person chosen by Brother Sunday, Old Man Mo said. Brother Sun. Yang Ming's heart trembled. Although the name of Brother Sun was a little unfamiliar, Yang Ming still thought of something. Surnamed Sun. Could it be him? It was still the street stall, still the hooligans looking for trouble, still him taking action. Could it be that there is some kind of karma? Yes. You should be able to guess who I am talking about. The Brother Sun I am talking about is him. Old Man Mo looked at Yang Ming and said with a smile. Yang Ming, Old Man Mo's words. Calm. For a long time, the secret of the glasses was Yang Ming's biggest secret. He had never mentioned it to anyone except for a few people he trusted the most. This was a taboo in Yang Ming's heart. However, the old man before him should be someone who knew about this matter. Looking at Old Man Mo's indifferent expression, Yang Ming's heart trembled slightly. Perhaps, this person would be able to provide him with unimaginable help. 2. Of course. The person I am waiting for is here. Naturally, I can leave. After seeing you, I should leave and return to where I belong. Old Man Mo shook his head and said lightly. The quietest place here was inside Lu Yezi's car. Yang Ming made an inviting gesture and let Old Man Mo get into the car. The others stayed outside the car. Some words might involve Yang Ming's secret, so Yang Ming didn't want a third person to know. Old Man Mo, you can tell me now. You are looking for me. Yang Ming said straightforwardly because there was no need to hide anything with such a person. Old Man Mo had already made it clear that he was here for Yang Ming. Then, what else did Yang Ming have to hide? According to my calculations, you are about to walk into a certain death situation. Old Man Mo said lightly. A certain death situation. You mean, my mission in a few days? Yang Ming asked with a chill in his heart. Although Yang Ming himself didn't believe in fortune-telling, since this person could mention Brother Sun, it was enough to show that he wasn't an ordinary person. Some things couldn't be solved by Yang Ming's knowledge. For example, Yang Ming's super glasses couldn't be explained by science. Therefore, Yang Ming attached great importance to Old Man Mo, yes, a certain death situation. Since you are the fated person chosen by Brother Sun, then I need to remind you and stop you from going. Old Man Mo said. Oh. Thank you for your kindness. Yang Ming smiled bitterly. Now, it's too late. Even if it's a certain death situation, I have to go because I have to go. Don't worry. Listen to me first. Old Man Mo said lightly, don't be impatient. Previously, I did want to stop you from going, but now, I have changed my mind. Changed your mind? Yang Ming was slightly surprised. According to your life horoscope, you will definitely die if you go this time. However, a few days ago, I met two people who were going to the same place as you. Their life horoscopes did not show any signs of death. Even if one of them did, it would be 2 years later. This is completely different from what I predicted. Old Man Emo said. Therefore, I am very puzzled. How did they survive? However, after seeing you today, I completely understand. You are talking about Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu. Yang Ming asked. That's right. It's them. Old Man Emo nodded his head. They will go with you. Since you're in a situation of certain death, they will definitely be in the same situation. However, they aren't. This is something that I've always been unable to understand. However, after meeting you, I've figured it out. It's not a certain death situation. Yang Ming asked without batting an eyelid. Yes, but you are fighting to survive. Originally, there was no chance, but after despair, the opportunity came again. This was not your destiny, but you have an unknown factor. This factor was given to you by Brother Sunday. This factor will become an important bargaining chip for you to turn defeat into victory. Yes, but you will fight to survive. Originally, there was no chance, but after despair, the opportunity came again. This was not your destiny, but there was an unknown factor in you. Old Man Emo smiled and said, previously, I overlooked this point. You can be considered a person whose fate has been changed. Your original fate naturally doesn't count anymore. Although Old Man Mo's words were somewhat profound, Yang Ming still understood the general meaning of it. That was, he wouldn't die in Yunnan this time. The important reason why he wouldn't die was probably because of this pair of magical glasses. Thank you for your advice. Yang Ming smiled. Then, is there anything else that I need to pay attention to? This old man will give you a word of advice. Let nature take its course. Don't force yourself to change anything. There is a good saying, when the car reaches the mountain, there will be a road. When the boat reaches the bridge, it will cross naturally. Old Man Emo smiled. Sometimes, when you are in despair, you must persevere. Who knows, maybe there will be a glimmer of hope. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.